It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
The Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life on this Monday, August 16, 2021. Hello again, everyone. How you doing? Welcome back. It has been a while. It has been a really long time since I've sat in this chair. In fact, it has been over 3 years since I sat in this chair, and boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to discuss. We got a lot to catch up on. There's a lot on my mind. There's a lot I want to get off my chest. Oh my gosh. And I know everyone loves Helwani, and I know everyone loves independent Ariel and all that stuff. I'm not looking to cause any fights. I'm not looking to burn any bridges. I'm not looking to make enemies. I have a lot of friends who still work at ESPN. I have no hard feelings towards anyone there. Honestly, in my heart right now, I'm speaking to you heart to heart, person to person. There's nothing else going on. There's no bells and whistles here. This is a shoot, brother. A lot of them reached out to me today, and that meant a lot. I'm very proud of what we did in 3 years. Truth be told, I didn't think I'd make it 3 years. And so that's why it was important for me to do as much as possible there. E60, outside the lines, NBA. It was great. I got to climb that mountain, and then I looked around and I was like, I'd like to climb something else now. But one thing I wanted to do was I didn't just want to be on Mondays anymore. I don't want to just be on once a week. I want to be on twice a week. I want to be on Mondays and Wednesdays. Live, 2 to 3 hours, multiple guests. I don't want to have to load up one show for 5 hours and then you don't hear from me for a week in this type of setting. So that's what we're going to do. I'm so excited about this. This is the closest thing I've had to a daily show. Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. GMT. Right here, YouTube, MMA Fighting. Wednesday, same time. Different. I already have Wednesday's show booked. I'm not going to tell you, but I already have it booked with big names. So you get a couple days to finish this, and then Wednesday you get another live show. You get a couple days, you could go back. This is great. Doesn't have to be all jam-packed. Monday we look back, Wednesday we look ahead, and a bunch of other stuff in between, and they were receptive to that idea as well. And I didn't want to change too much. I wanted the studio to be as it was. A little refreshing of the logo. Thank you so much to everyone involved in that process. A little, new trinkets here or there. But I wanted this place back. I wanted to be sitting here doing the same type of show with longer interviews, with access to the biggest names in this sport. Because I think this is, if I could just say, not just big for me, but it's big for the sport as well, for the fighters to have this platform. Uncensored, unfiltered. No one's cutting anything out. No one's telling you what to say beforehand. No one's telling you not to say certain things beforehand or afterwards. None of that. None of that is happening. Completely independent, completely unfiltered, completely uncensored. Use any phrase you want in that world. This is the place. I haven't been in a studio since March 9 of 2020. I've been to 3 NBA games, dream come true. I haven't done a show like this in a studio since March 9, 2020. Jay Park, remember him? The Brian Ortega Korean zombie thing? That was one of the guests on the show. That's how long ago. It was right after the Yoel Romero Israel Adesanya fight. Note the pronunciation. Adesanya. I haven't been in a studio. I'm tired of doing things in a spare bedroom. I'm tired of doing things on Zoom. I'm in a studio doing a show like a professional. I said goodbye to my kids and my wife today, and I said, I'm going to work. And I'm going to park my car in a parking garage, and I'm going to walk here wearing a mask, and damn proud of it. And so I'm so happy to be doing that as well. And I thought about who's been the story of the summer. Who's been the fighter of the summer? Who's been one of the fighters of the year, 2021? 2-0 thus far this year, 2 gigantic victories, arguably the 2 biggest of the year. And by the end of 2021, he might be back on the show when we give out our awards. He might be the 2021 male fighter of the year by the time this entire year is done. And so he was kind enough. He's been a little bit quiet over the last month and a half or so, but very, very thankful that he has agreed to be our first guest in this here new era. And so without further ado, let us go to the Skype machine. It feels so damn good to say that and say hello to the pride of Lafayette, Louisiana. Say hello to the number one contender in the UFC's lightweight division. Say hello to El Diamante, Dustin Diamond Poirier. Look at that man right over there. Dustin, my man, how are you?
Good, man. What's happening with you?
Not
Good
much.
to see you back on air.
Yes, it is great to be back.
I've been fighting for 20 years. I've never retired once. But the UFC painted a picture that I retired because I left the UFC because they stole my Reebok deal. And I didn't want to have shit to do with people like that. You know what I'm saying? And they painted a picture like I retired. You know, I've done so much for this sport. And, you know, I got all these injuries. My body's all fucked up. That's why I had to go see a bioaccelerator in Colombia and get the stem cells because, you know, I do that shit for the Rampage fans. I go out there and I just put on an exciting fight, win, lose, or draw. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. But every goddamn time I get in that motherfucking cage, I'm trying to excite the fan. You know, that's what I done for MMA. And I just want the respect. Like, hey, you know what? Rampage did entertain us.
Amen, my friend. And you know what? And I texted this to you recently. We don't pay enough attention to the legends, to the OGs, to the forefathers, the founding fathers, the trailblazers. You are one of them. That's why I always talk about an independent MMA Hall of Fame. There needs to be a proper Hall of Fame where you and the people that you fought against are first ballot. We need to remember you guys because I think the UFC does, just shooting here, a very bad job of respecting and honoring its past. Baseball does a great job of it. NBA does they always bring the legends back. They treat you guys, the ones who don't do business for them anymore, they treat you like you're yesterday's news, and that's not fair. By the way, Rampage.
Yeah, one of the producers went and found one of my
there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
What was it, in the toilet?
It was there.
In the toilet?
It was right there, front and center. Everyone said it. There it is. Look at that. Rampage Jackson, my man. 5 more years. AEW, give me a call. Cut the deal. I can make it happen. But before that, it's Shannon Briggs, the man who all of you said wouldn't show today. Well, guess what? He's here. Let's go back to the Zoom machine and say hello to the one and only Darren. I was hoping he'd be in his car. And yes, he is in his car. Hello, Darren. How are you?
What you want? I ain't here to talk about MMA or that shit yet, you know.
Okay.
I'm sick of that talk. Let's talk about something else.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
You talk to me. Go on.
Okay, but I just want. Okay, can I say what you said to me?
Don't start stuttering. Start your talking or I'm off.
You said to me, if you're not invited to the first episode, you will be highly offended. Fact or fiction, Darren?
Fucking, you lying bastard. Times are tough. Ariel's got a big nose when he fucks his wife. You walked right into that one, you little cunt. I haven't got the kids around this time because I want to be more mate. And I was thinking, nah, mate, I see my kids morning and night. But trust me, when I leave that door to the gym, I am violent. I am going to the gym with violent thoughts, like with hatred in my heart. And then when I come home, like, hey girls, should we watch Monsters Inc? I don't take this lightly. I wake up every day and I put my soul, mind and body through hell and back. You couldn't survive at Team Carbon if you didn't.
I don't think there's anything more to say, Darren, so we will leave it at that.
That's nothing.
Beautiful stuff. Really beautiful. And this is why, despite all the craziness, they love you and they support you. And you know your fans have your back and you make them very proud.
Of course.
And
I seen on, I didn't know you posted like the secrets of who's, and I seen every comments like, listen, you got a guy in Israel Adesanya who, for me, I mean, I'm a fan of him as well, who's fucking huge champion. He's so good. Then you've got like Rampage Jackson, who I was a fan of when I was a kid. And all I seen in the comments was, you got Till on. You got like the fans, mate.
Yeah,
I appreciate the love. And I will always keep it 100%. Or I will try. If I don't, text me and say, Till, you're not keeping it 100%. You've gone off track. Now, don't get it twisted there. You're like, money, fame, all that shit. It tweaks people a little bit. Of course it does. It's meant to. But I will always keep it 100%. I will always go around in my flip-flops with my shitty little jackets on in my big car, and I will keep it 100%. And I'm going to promise that to myself. And I have promised it to myself. There's no changing sponsors, all that. We want you to do, fuck that. I've got a mind and I've got a voice and I'm going to speak it, whether you like it or not.
By the way, Izzy up next. Do you want to say anything to him? Do you want to pass a message to him? He'll be up in a second.
We speak enough, mate.
Okay, fair enough.
Listen, good luck, Izzy, on your journey. You're on a journey, and you know he's a fan of me. I'm a fan of him. But I will be beating you, Izzy. I will be beating you, mate.
Darren. In case I didn't know, we don't talk all the time. Relax. Yeah,
that's what he said.
Yams. But we talk often. I would say it's like every day. Like, hey, what's up, buddy? But we're cool. But he just has to win first. Fucking now, I've laid it up to him so many times, and he just keeps flopping. Like, Jesus Christ, get it fucking together, Darren. So yeah, he can't talk unless he wins first. And to win the way I've been winning in this division is not an easy task. So yeah, pick a number and get in line, son.
Do you think he beats Derek Brunson?
Yeah, I think so. But that's my other son. So they're all my children.
Well, this is the scene that I'm going to put out there into the universe. Let's say fall of 2022.
That's too far.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to be a little conservative. Summer 2022.
Spring, summer 22.
Okay, wow. Spring, summer 2022, the brand spanking new home of your New York Islanders, Belmont Park. Main event, the return, the homecoming. Don't say you want to fight in Charlotte or something like that. The return on the island.
There you go. Back down.
No, I won't back. And here he comes, the pride of Long Island, the pride. What was the name of the town that you went to school? Baldwin, New York. I mean, he'd been through so much: Hurricane Sandy and the shoulder and the late notice and Damian Maya and the towel sticking to him with the static and Anderson Silva. Everything that this man has been through, they've counted him out time and time again, and he is going to walk through that curtain in front of his own people, in front of the own crowd. Long Island, New York, Belmont Stadium, home of the Islanders, main event, live on ESPN. Christopher J. Weidman walking through. No, I won't back down.
Look at the armpits.
No, I won't back down. By the way, thank you so much for joining us. I love Bon Gamin as a nickname, but I don't know if you saw this. I want to give you a new nickname. Let me know what you think of it. I want to call you the French Prince. The French Prince, Cyril Gane.
French Prince, you like it?
I like it. What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, this is a good nickname. I prefer to have this nickname like more humble, like Bon Gamin, like good kids. I prefer that.
Okay. Well, you know why the French Prince, right? Like the Fresh Prince, Will Smith. You know the show, the Fresh Prince,
okay,
French Prince. You get it?
Sorry.
Come on, man.
Oh,
come on.
Man. Sorry, man.
I know you're down.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good, right?
That's
good. Yeah, Carlton. There you go. This man knows. You like Houston rap more than Derek Lewis does. That T-shirt, that's a Houston.
Yeah.
What is going on here? Are you just trolling Derek Lewis? What's happening?
Oh no.
Or you're just like sticking it to him one last time.
No, this is not the disrespect. No, really.
No.
Because I got my shoes and this is much good with my shoes. So that's it. Huh?
Respect.
That's it. Just, yeah.
You came out to the song. Everyone was excited. Then you're like, oh man, this guy.
Houston. In Houston, you have a big. This is a big city of the rap music. This is a really big city. You have a lot of artists, and when I was young, I listened a lot of songs in the rap music, and that's why I have this a little bit. This is a little culture of that.
But you are represented by Dominance MMA, correct? And I used to have a tremendous relationship with the leader of Dominance MMA, Ali Abdelaziz, the well-known manager. Had a very good relationship with him for many, many years when he was managing guys working WSOF, et cetera, et cetera. In 2000 and I do believe 19, for whatever reason, I have my theories, that relationship disintegrated to the point where he told all the fighters at Dominance MMA to not speak to me anymore. They are not allowed to speak to me. Now they speak to me privately, but they can't come on my show for whatever reason. I think they're losing out more than I am, but the fact remains I would love to have them on. He has said, you cannot talk to our fighters. I'm going to ban you from talking to our fighters. There's one fighter on that roster of maybe 70 fighters now, one fighter who, pardon me for saying, has the balls to say, I am the actual client here. I am the one paying my management team. I do whatever I want. I'm a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, for God's sakes. I'm an undefeated MMA fighter. Put me on this camera right over here. I am the freaking woman. I tell you what to do. There's only one on that entire roster of legends who tells them what to do and who comes on my show and talks to me. And that's why I don't care if I'm a journalist or not, Kayla. I don't care if I'm supposed to be unbiased. I'm a fan for life because I respect you so much for doing what you're doing, for having a spine, and for sticking up for yourself, and honestly for sticking up for me. So I just want to say thank you. It means a lot to me whenever you come on the show.
Oh, well, I'm glad you got that off your chest.
I wanted to get that off my chest for 2 years now, Kayla. But unfortunately, at my other job, I could not do that. I couldn't break the fourth wall like I can now. And for you to say, because let's be honest, it has been said to you not to come on my show, and you have said, no, I call the shots here. I do whatever I want. I can't tell you how much that means to me. I can't tell you. Honestly, I am forever grateful. The pride of St. Isidore, Quebec, Canada, the man who won the middleweight title at Madison Square Garden, the longtime and greatest welterweight champion of all time. And I don't care what Kamaru Usman does in his career. He will never, never hold a candle to this man, George Rush St. Pierre. There he is. Look at this guy, the one and only George St. Pierre. George, salut. Comment ça va?
Bonjour. I'm doing fantastic yourself. You put the bar a little bit too high.
No.
All jokes aside, would you clear the schedule for me? Because they would love to see you.
I think it would be great. I think it would work very well for you if I showed up on your behalf. This is my advisor.
Are you sincerely telling me that?
What's that?
Are you sincerely telling me that? Because I'll book us the flight. I'll take care of the flights.
I will. I mean, I don't know if I'll be.
I'm in. Serious? Or?
I'm in, Jorge. I'm in. I'll sit right next to you on the plane. Me, you, and Manuel going down there. There's no way that we could be stopped.
Who's Manuel?
Anuel.
Oh, Anuel.
Ah, damn it!
Yeah, you're gonna really go with the Spanish name, man.
I'm gonna work on it.
I'm not. Everybody's saying, the UFC needs to pay its fighters. In my situation, when I quit my job, I was able to get paid from the UFC to sustain myself. So I'm not here to say the UFC isn't paying me because I'm getting paid pretty good from the UFC. It's just that money don't last forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here balling out of control. I'm not splurging or anything like that. I'm not stupid. I don't spend my money on dumb stuff, but it's just life, I guess. I would like to get paid. I am a elite level athlete. I would like to get paid like elite level athletes, like the ones in the NFL and the NBA and the ones that playing baseball and soccer and doing all that stuff. They get sponsors, but they get, they don't need sponsors. All they need is that check from that 3-letter organization. So that's what we need here in the UFC. That's what we're all like, So I should have 6 figures in my account that I don't even need to touch. You're absolutely right about that. I shouldn't have to worry about, man, if I get injured or I can't fight anymore, what the hell am I going to do? And unfortunately, that is a situation that a lot of us fighters are in, that I'm in myself. You know what I'm saying? My wife is getting ready to get up and go to work. You know what I'm saying? Which is against the structure that we have as a family. You know what I'm saying? She does so much here at the house, maintaining the home, taking care of the kids. You know what I'm saying? Making sure everything is where it needs to be so I can go and do my thing and not have to worry about everything else that's going on. But I don't know. I'm not going to say, well, yeah, whatever, man. Like I said, it's a 3-letter organization, the biggest one. It has to be well over 4 whatever billion it sold 4 years ago. So, we should be getting paid a little bit more. Yeah, absolutely.
You feel like you're top 5 170 already?
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
For sure.
Now,
I look at these guys. I look at skill for skill. And like I said, I've been shying away from media and all this stuff for like the last year almost. And I've been watching this whole time. And I see nobody around here. I see nobody that can bring what I bring to the table. I see nobody that got the skills that I got and can do everything in a complete package. I don't see none of them. So, yeah, it's me.
Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, he's a great champ. He's a great champ. I give it to him. But I don't think he's really been challenged yet by anybody. And I'm here to give him that challenge.
Colby Covington. Leon Edwards.
Leon not really up there. Kobe's gonna put up a good fight. Leon would make a good fight, but he's gonna have to. He don't bring the complete package. You know, he might have some decent fighting skills, but it takes more than that in this game. I feel like
Gilbert Burns, Jorge Masvidal, Wonderboy Thompson. There's some big names there.
Some big names. There's some decent names, but they still don't do shit.
And I'm wise enough now as an OG to know that I'm representing MMA, but I'm representing the OGs for real, not the older guys, but the real people that really stand for something. They're really been around the block a couple times, and they got war rooms to prove it. That's what I stand for. And anybody that really fuck with that are gonna love this performance. They're gonna love these hands going upside his head. And I didn't buy into the bullshit. I didn't buy into the Disney stuff. I didn't buy into the drama or taking on the extra pressure. And he did. He got so much pressure on him. And I look to go out there and make an example and make a statement. I'm about to go big.
Oh,
that's gonna make a lot more sense to you later. I'm about to go big. I'm about to go big. My equalizer, every dial about to be cranked up to the max. And I'm not gonna let somebody tell me that because I started fighting first, I should only punch. No, I'm an artist. And I've always been that way since a kid. I'm a visionary. I've always been that way. And I refuse to sit on my gifts from God. I'm going to turn up in all aspects.
Is this something that you want? What a fight it would be. Kayla Harrison versus Chris Cyborg. Is this something that you want? Is this something that you are going to try to actively get her to come to Bellator to fight you in this super fight?
No, I think it's going to be a great fight for me. You know, she don't need to come in for 145. We can fight 155. And then, you know, she said the last fight in her contract too, I saw. And I believe maybe she's can sign with the UFC, but she's make more money than Amanda Nunes in PFL. You know, I don't know how it's going to be works, but maybe we can do one fight champion versus champion. And Scott Coker can be my co-promoter. And maybe, you know, in the future. And it's a great fight, you know. People say, she's going to take you down. You know, I believe in the fight. Wrestler can beat judo. And she's maybe can take me down, yes, but they can take down her too. And there's an MMA fight.
Do you regret taking the Vettori fight?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's a great story. You know what I mean? It's like he beat me. He lost to Izzy again. You know, it's like he got his way in. I was the person that got somebody to the title. I talked all that crap about Brunson being the gatekeeper that I pulled up and took his job. So, you know, no problemo. I don't regret anything. I made good money in the UFC. I don't know what Paige Van Zant's money was, but you know, it's like some of these people talking about they don't get paid this much money in the UFC, they don't get paid that much money in the UFC. Either A, they need to fight more, or B, they need to get a better manager. You know what I mean? And it's like, I make good money. I'm very, very happy. My son's happy. My mom's happy. My stepdad's happy. My daddy's happy. My grandma's happy. My whole family's happy. So I don't know what they're complaining about.
Okay, so this is the other side of the coin. You know, we spotlight a guy named Jared Cannonier who was talking about not getting paid. I guess the difference might be, and I believe every word that you're saying, you know, what in the past, I don't know, year and 2-3 months, you have fought 7 times. He hasn't. So that could obviously be a factor in all of this, right?
Yeah, it's a big difference. And then even when I'm not fighting, you know, it's like however much the mortgage is on my house and however much the money is that I have to put out every month for have to bills, you know, not the fun stuff, have to bills, it's covered on sponsorship end. That's the media that we talk about. So it's like, I'm not really coming out of pocket too many different ways on different things unless I'm just out having a good time. I like to have a good time. You see the shoes in the back. Yeah. But, you know, like, yeah, I don't understand what people are complaining about. You know, it's like, do your job and you will be more than paid.
And so I said, AJ McKee, Alexander Volkanovski, who wins? And I got a lot of people say, this is a crazy question. How dare you, blah, 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 blah. You're a great freaking matchup. Volkanovski's amazing. But the idea that he's going to steamroll through you just because the UFC champion is absolutely ludicrous. When you see this, how do you feel? It's cap. It's cap. It's all cap, AJ.
Yeah. I think, once again, this is what I've done my entire life. He's spent majority of his life doing other things, playing rugby and so forth. He's a great champion, but this is my sport, Ariel. This is what I do. Like I'm gonna kill or be killed in that cage. So when it comes to another fighter, especially at 145 pounds, it's not going to be nice. I'm coming out victorious. Obviously, like I said, I've had Ortega put me in a triangle when I was 19 up at a UFC tournament. I got to get that hit back one day. Like, I got a hit list. I took care of everybody in our gym. Everybody in the gym, from Brett Cooper, everybody, anybody you can think of that's been our gym. Like, I had a hit list and I took them out one by one. So it's like they don't call me a mercenary for no reason. I signed that document. Like, I go for it. You know what I mean? It's kill or be killed. But yeah, Volkanovski, he's good. He's cool. I don't think he's the best, but I mean, whatever.
Who's the best 145er on the planet right now?
Hey, kidding me? He fucking blow right through that guy.
I'm trying to be nice.
No.
Watching the styles, what the fuck? It wouldn't even go 2 rounds. He might finish him in the first round. What is he gonna do? That guy's too fucking small. We're talking range, distance, timing, speed, strength. That's like a fucking truck running into a fucking Volkswagen.
Hey, Volkswagens are fast. Oh, well, that wasn't the argument. I'm sorry.
I get it. So it's the rematch with Pitbull, but now for his other title.
Yeah, or I'll fight his brother.
But he doesn't have a title.
Exactly, but he's #1 contender. What else makes sense?
Well, I think they just announced he's fighting Peter Queally again in November. I say we run it back for the 155 belt. That's the biggest fight they could do.
That's the only fight that makes sense.
Yeah.
But Pitbull don't want, he needs a break.
Oh, so you've already thrown this out there.
I mean, we go back to 2017, I was throwing it out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I want both the belts. That's my cake and me eating it too. This is what I've said throughout the tournament. So I would like that. I think that should happen.
You were trying to make the point that there's just a lot that goes into this. It's not, hey, you get money and then you go to the bank. There's taxes, there's managers, there's coaches. I'm assuming that's what you were trying to say, but it felt almost, at least to me, like it was a bit annoying to you that it was being taken in a different context or maybe misconstrued. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to maybe clear the air if you want it.
Oh, absolutely. I really appreciate that. What I was trying to say is that it's not all, like you said, just money that gets to go in the bank. There is, 60 to 70%. I spend it closer to 70% of my check on, right? It'll go to taxes, it'll go to coaches, it'll go to all these different things. I'm okay with that because that's me investing in myself. I'm not going to complain that I'm in a 37% tax bracket. That means I'm making a lot of money. You know what I mean? Having to pay taxes is a good thing. And also paying my coaches. I have more coaches. I have more people who understand what's going on in the game. And hey, you know what? It's all right. Like, I'm down to spend the money on myself. I spend all organic, grass-fed. If it doesn't run, fly, swim, or come straight out of the ground, I didn't need it. My diet was very expensive. My food prep, all these things. And to be fair, a lot of them were first-time purchases that will benefit me because I haven't bought it in 5 years. Like you invest in new running shoes, you invest in a new bike, you invest in a new polar heart rate monitor, or whatever, like these kinds of things. Like my camp was very expensive, but the results were great. And I'm going to continue on that trend. Ariel would spend every last penny to touch that belt again.
I was watching the fights on Saturday. And I fell asleep watching them. I've been training freaking hard, Ariel.
Okay.
So I got back after I was training. I got back just in time for the fights. I put them on. I was supposed to go down to a friend of mine's house, and I was watching the prelims. And then I woke up, and it was like the Barbosa fight. And I was like, what the fuck? I look at my phone. I had 9,000 messages and Instagram this and Twitter that. I was like, what the hell is going on? What the hell? And then I'm seeing that they announced the fight, and I was like, what the fuck? I haven't signed the contract. I hate when they do that. They've done this to me once before, and it's really not the right thing to do. It kind of bothers me a lot, especially the fact that they know I've been trying to get a hold of them, but I'm sure it's going to get taken care of. And it's just something that it would be really exciting if it was all like set. You know what I mean? Like if if it was all really like set to go and the contract was signed and everything, and then I announced it. So I think that Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to happen. I think that I'll get I'll talk to them today, but it's just, I don't know. It could have been done better, but there's no focus like a fight camp focus.
Mm-hmm.
I get more done in life when I'm training for a fight. Like if someone's looking for a house, my days are down to the minute. Every minute, my off time, I'm looking at houses for people. Like if you look at how many houses I've sold when I'm fighting, I sell the most houses because my time is so well managed because I know every second has to be accounted for. When I don't have a fight coming up, I kind of get a little lackadaisical, and I'm always thinking about, if I'm not working out, I'm thinking about working out, and I wake up, I get my workout in, I have the downtime, I do everything that I need to do, I get my workout in, I sleep better. I'm exhausted when I go home. I get to sleep, I sleep well, I wake up, and it's just every single day you're focused on outworking the guy that you're going to fight. There's no one outworking me. It's not happening. So I'm really looking forward to the next, 8-9 weeks of that focus and that I really feel like I'm going to get so far ahead of everybody in the next couple months.
This is going to be a weird way to phrase it, but I don't want to be the pretty girl. I want to be the smart girl. I want to be a voice, a respected voice in this sport, in whatever shape that takes. And to me, the ultimate goal was to be able to be a voice alongside and contributing with these amazing other analysts that I've been watching for so many years. And it was never the idea of like, oh, I'm better than them, or I'm, none of that, or I should take someone's place, or it's never been that attitude. It's like, I just love the sport so much. I have been in it so long. I've been all over to all of these different gyms. I've trained with so many different people, and I love telling the stories of fighters, and I love talking about the action as it happens. And if I can contribute to the conversation, just be a part of it, be alongside it, not taking anyone's place, just be there, then that's what I want to do. I want to be able to contribut.
Dude, I had a very serious neck injury, and I lost a good amount of muscle, and I'm trying to repair, rebuild the nerve damage that happened in my arm. And it's better, but to say it's where it was before a couple of fights ago, would be just straight up lying, But like I said, I fought with limitations plenty of times. I know a lot of people have other limitations, whether it's their hand, their wrist. So this is just part of the game. This is part of my journey, my story, and I got to figure out a way to win with what I got, So I'm just trying to do what I can within this time frame to get my body to where it needs to be so that I can perform the best I can perform. Because I truly do believe I'm honestly better than Peter Yan. I'm not saying the guy's not good. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be in a position that he's in. He's a tough dude. But being in there with that guy, knowing how I felt the day of, I just truly feel like if that's the best version of him, and this is me being honest, if I felt like he was really like kicking my ass and I could not do anything if we had 10 fights, that's a problem. I would openly admit that, hey, coach, we got some stuff we need to work on. But I truly did not feel like that. I feel like I beat that guy 7, 8, 9 out of 10 times. Dude, I worked my ass off to get to this position. I got no handouts. I fought a killer's roll of guys, 3 guys in the top 5, beat them all, choked out the guy that's supposed to be the next guy that ended up losing again, still making the same mistake. Like, this division is one of the hottest divisions. And for me to get to where I've gotten to, I like to think I'm doing pretty good in life.
You are.
So
you are.
Let's just have the rematch and then we can shut everybody up. I know the Russian fans really love their guy, which is Aljamain the Funk Master Sterling. And I want to make sure the Russian fans have someone to cheer for, which is going to be Aljamain Funk Master Sterling on October 30th.
When people be calling me Pretty Ricky, I appreciate them for that. That's one of my OG nicknames since the beginning of time. But I made the request to the UFC to announce me as Ricky Hadouken Turcios, the fighter name. You know what I mean? It ain't your fault, bro. I tried to make the request. They called me Pretty Ricky on fight night. Hey, it was all good. It was a great memory. I'll hold on to forever, you know. But I'll go on the record now on your show today. You know what I mean? Hey, for the people to know, let me be known as Ricky Hadouken Turcios. You know?
Okay, no.
Do I not want to be compared to one of the biggest sports stars of all time? Of course, I like the comparison. Of course, obviously being Irish, obviously being from, obviously having the talk, walking the walk. There's a lot of similarities, but of course I want it. It's like any high school basketballer or college basketballer being compared to Michael Jordan. Of course, it's a great comparison. I mean, Conor changed the game in MMA. Like, he brought so many eyes to the sport. If I can do something similar, then that's a win. I want to be. He was the reason I'm in MMA. Do you know what I mean? His rising was the reason that MMA got huge in Dublin and Ireland. It's the reason I walked into an MMA gym, and if I can bring eyes to the UFC, and I can put people in gyms because they want to be like me, or they want to do it because they see me enjoy it and putting on a show, then amazing, that's a win. I can talk the talk and I can walk the walk. I mean, you started watching me on my second pro fight. You don't watch everybody's second pro fight. You don't follow everyone's career. There's a reason. I'm interested. Do you know what I mean? I talk the talk, I walk the walk, I back it up. My fights are fun. They're energetic. When I get on the mic, it's the same. I speak the truth and I have fun. That's the most important thing, is no matter what I do, I have fun. When I'm on the mic, when I'm in the gym, when I'm in the fight, I have the time of my life. It's what I love to do. So I think that positive energy and that good vibe that I bring is infectious. And I think that goes throughout life. It's like if I'm having dinner with my family or friends, it's like that positive energy is spread. It's what I enjoy. I always want people there. If me and you were doing it, I could be sitting here and being boring, or I could sit here and try to bring a smile to your face and make you have a good day and leave and go, that kid's pretty cool. Do you know what I mean? I like this kid, right? You could be leaving going, he's a prick. I don't want to interview him again.
But what does that happiness and emotion represent? Where does it come from? Why did you react like that?
I just come from nothing. So to win any kinds of money is just like next level. But I think for me, it was the recognition of my hard work. It wasn't even so much the money, but like, I feel as if I could have been in a few fights the night before this one, and I was kind of pipped off by the more well-known fighters on the card. So for it all to come full circle, and like I even had my manager Graham Boylan in the corner for this fight because one of my coaches Simon couldn't travel last minute. So it was just mad. It was like it was all meant to be, Ariel. But that money will be a deposit for a house. Like I'll finally be able to do that. Do you know what I mean? And I always said all I wanted from fighting was a world title and to have a house bought, and I will have like had a career that, like, I don't know, if you can say that you've got a fully paid house and your mortgage is finished, then you've done quite well, haven't you? So to kind of fall into MMA by accident and then to have this amazing career, it's just mad.
That's the prom photo. This is the prom photo, Jack, and it's a lovely hair cut that you've got, a lovely suit, and I'm just wondering, who this guy is.
Rod Stewart.
Yes, what is going on here, Jack? What is this look that we're rocking here? Because this look, let's get the photo back up there just for a second in case someone missed it. Yes, there it is. How do we go from that guy to this guy killing people in the UFC 15-0? Tell us the backstory behind this photo, Jack.
So, like, take away the A cut, but as a kid, I was done. I just had I didn't like as a kid. I was always fit and always in the gym, but I just never had great genetics. Probably wasn't the best with my diet at our age. I was a little chubby kid, to be honest, up until about 17, 18. And it was only when I started training at an amateur boxing gym where they were like, you need to get running and shift a bit of weight that I started to lean out a little bit. But everyone always rips me for that haircut. But if I pull up my school photo right from that year, there's about 10 of us with the same cut, with the highlights and the fringe and the full head of hair. But my friends will be very happy you've pulled that one up and done me dirty with it. So
listen, I'm not. Someone sent it to me. I'm not scouring your Facebook. I won't say who it was, but they said be sure to ask Jack about this photo. And if I'm being honest, I was mesmerized by the photo, and I had to ask because the glow up, as they say, is real. I don't know if you guys use that term over there in Wales, but you have glowed up, my friend. That's a good look for back in the day. Rod Stewart's a legend. Why not? Why not represent him? But I think this look for your career. By the way, if you fight with that look, you'd be very. I mean, look what the hair is doing for Patty right now. Ryan, to me, came across as very mad in that package, and I don't know if he was playing a character or something. But did you see this video? And why is he so upset? Why is he so fired up for this?
I didn't see it live.
Okay.
But I had enough people reach out that I was like, all right, maybe I'll go back and watch and see what this is about. I don't know, what a nerd. Like, I just laughed at it the whole time. Like, what are you so mad about? It sounds like a lot of like trying to convince himself, you know, like, why does he, I mean, obviously the producers and stuff in those packages, they want you to, how many, what fight number is this for you? What have you done? And you got to answer those questions. But like, I don't go around like spouting off that I fought for a title. That wasn't exactly a fantastic experience for me.
Right.
I don't ever brag. You've probably never heard me brag about beating Shogun or Rashad or like, because those weren't like super feel good moments for me. I think you and I have talked on your show before about like those moments were, initially very happy, but there's a lot of sadness that comes with that, So I don't brag and throw it in people's face. So like, it sounds like a bunch of shit that's bothering him that he's got to convince himself. But, and then at the end, he hit me with the old Watchmen quote when Rorschach was in prison. Like, you're not locked in there, like, I'm not locked in there with you. You're locked in there with me. Like, get out of here, you fucking dork.
I think if I'm going to make the money I'm making right now, why go out there and fight, the toughest guys in the world? Why not why not fight these 3 fights fighting not the toughest guys in the world, renegotiate my contract, and then make real money fighting real tough guys?
The notion that these MMA fighters think that I'm scared of them is funny, or that I'm running away. Like, dude, like, guys, I have fought 4 times in the past 2 years. That you can't really even fight more than that if you're doing big fights. Like, I am going back to back on these bitch ass MMA fighters. Like, line them up. I will take all of them down. You guys cannot box. I outboxed a 5-time UFC fucking champion. Vitor Belfort didn't even get close to winning that many championships. The notion that you guys are scared, you guys cannot box for shit. There was not one moment in the fight where Tyron was outboxing me. Not one. The notion that you guys are scared, I just took on one of your best fighters, Hall of Fame of all time, and shit all over him on a bad night with a hyperextended elbow. So fuck all of you.
Who would be your choice for the next opponent?
I mean, honestly, just from a personal standpoint, I would love for it to be Masvidal. Just because of the shit talk, just because of his name, just because he's like still in his prime era. And there's a lot of personal beef there. I just took out his boy Tyron. But, hopefully Dana would let him out of his contract. But we're not sure if that can happen. But for me personally, I think that'd be the toughest challenge, the toughest guy, and the biggest name, the most relevant currently. So I think that's the one to make, and I think it'll happen at some point regardless, but that's the top of my list for sure.
Is that one of the options you're exploring? I mean, UFC has worked with Showtime in the past, as you know, Mayweather McGregor. Is it possible that they could be a part of this and make the Masvidal-Jake Paul fight?
We'll see. His dad, Dana White, just has to let him.
Would it be fair to say that you believe that this would behoove the fighters? It would be good for the fighters to try to come together, to have a collective voice, to have collective bargaining, to have a seat at the table, but you also don't think, because everyone's looking out for themselves, selfish, that it won't happen, at least not in your time as an active fighter?
No one has enough balls. No one has enough cojones. That's the problem. And there's not enough there's very few people that have the fucking balls, but to get the right amount of people together to do that thing, that would never happen. Not in any foreseeable future.
Right.
There's no one. They give out enough to make everyone come back for more. You know what I mean? And then someone fucking sparks up a conversation and they get shelved until they run out of money and they want to come back and they have to do what they have to do and they have to take the paycheck they have to take. This is the game we play.
Do you have the balls to do it? Do you want to do it?
I'll do whatever I want. I think I've spoken my mind enough to you understand that I'm going to say exactly what I feel and how I feel. The fighting is fighting. I'm under contract and I just want to fight. And I want a chance to get back my gold and finish this bitch on my own terms. And so that's why I'm here and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. You good?
What's your problem with Sean Strickland?
Back in the trailer park. I just don't like him, man. He's got a bad attitude. He's that guy in the gym and just no one likes him. The worst energy you ever felt. Like I didn't like him at first. I was hungover. I think the first time he walked into the gym, I was hungover and I was beat up and I just watching the guy run around the gym and bark and talk and just say the dumbest shit and just not really like, not a good person. Just kind of like just trying to put off everybody and like just not care for anybody, in the gym. And so I got kind of frustrated just listening to him talk. I was like, this kid's a fucking idiot. I was like, maybe I will. I'll put the gloves on. I'll go spar him. So I'll work with him one time. So that's the only encounter I really had with him.
Oh.
Other than that, him saying that he wants to kill people in the ring.
Yeah.
Like it would be cool if I killed the guy. And then like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Those are the people that need to die themselves. Those are the people. And you want to talk about coming in the parking lot, coming after me? I didn't say anything really about you, but you're going to come in the parking lot and get what did you say? What did you say? A misdemeanor or some shit? Motherfucker, you come at me, you touch me in the parking lot, I'll be the one in jail.
I think I found the way to train, I'm happier training. I'm sleeping better. I'm training better. I'm everything is better because when I have the ups and downs, like even with John Jones, even with Ryan Bader, I was winning those fights, but man, was like too much work, too much like maybe too much work and too much undiscipline off camp too. Even Lyoto had a talk with me about it. He's like, love, you got to discipline yourself a little more because the age is going to catch up to you. You can't do those things, Like
what? Like what kind of things? Party,
drinking, eating, drinking a bottle of Hennessy, bottle of, in the weekend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say alcoholic, but I love the party, So I take all this stuff away. I had the ups and downs, the stuff. So I lost, then I win a fight. I win and lost until I kind of figured everything out. Say that's how I am gonna live my life because I love this more than anything, and I wanted to do the best that I can in this sport. I want another chance to fight for the title, and I wanna give my best shot. So I take everything out that is bothering me and things that living like a really professional athlete.
But just to be clear, you're not implying that she looked for a way out, right? Like you know for a fact she got COVID and couldn't fight.
I'll tell you this. When Hunter Campbell told me that he was looking at her negative or her positive COVID test, I said, okay. I said more than okay. And then I don't want to get into particulars because I about, put a fist through the wall. The next day, an article came out from her wife stating that they had been locked down for, 11 days and that all three of them tested negative and that they were all clear and that they were all ready to go. And so I saw them like the next day in the gym and like training and everything like that. And so they were posting this stuff. And I just had a feeling it wasn't going to happen in general because every time she's posting, it's like chocolate cake and, all sorts of goodies that you normally wouldn't be eating in a fight camp. So I was just like, she's just probably on the couch eating chocolate cake and was like, what? The fight's next week? Oh, no, I got COVID. Like, we're not, like, she probably just wasn't ready. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. And I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of doing. And what you think about me is none of my business. I don't give an F what other people think. It's what I know and what's in my heart. And in my heart and what I know is I'm a champion and I'm going to be a champion and I am the champion. And, there's little battles that happen before the fight. And some of these battles have already been lost, but not on my side.
What do you mean by that? That's very interesting. What do you mean by those battles?
just the fact that this fight has been pushed back so many times. If you look at, fights that I've had with Jermaine or Valentina, these girls are at the top of the roster. They're at the top of the division. And I've got in the cage and I've fought with both of them. I know what they feel like. And if you lined up all the girls in the top 5 of the division, like Holly Holm and Jermaine and Valentina and Amanda, I would pick Amanda every single time. Styles make fights, and stylistically, she's the best possible matchup for her, regardless of her being the champion, regardless of her holding the belt. Stylistically, she's the best possible fight for me. And so I think that she knows that, and I think that she's very smart in the way that she approaches things. I think it was been announced to me that, she's doing it on purpose because she wants to try to have a mental edge on you and make you wait even longer and give herself even more time to prepare, and whatever the case may be. It was like, I was ready to fight when I beat Kat Zingano at UFC 200 and you said that you'd fight me and you didn't. Then I was ready to fight, other several times when you agreed to fight me and you didn't. I caught wind when I was fighting Jermaine that you were glued to the TV praying to God on your knees that I didn't win the fight because you don't want to fight me. So there's these little battles before the fight that are happening. And when I finally got the fight and I said that she wasn't going to show up, she didn't show up. You know what I mean? And so there's these little battles that I feel like, I'm already winning in that department.
Lauren Murphy, like I said, is on a nice winning streak. She's won 5 in a row. She has also said that you have never fought anyone as tough as her. Valentina, what do you make of that statement?
Everyone says the same. Everyone says the same. Jessica Andrade said, you never fought someone with ability of wrestling like me. So they keep saying the same. But yeah, it's good. She believes that. As I'm saying all the time, it's going to be more frustrating for her to feel the difference.
Yeah, I would argue that perhaps the more accurate statement is that she has never fought anyone as tough as you. I think that would be more accurate. Are you impressed, though, with what she's done as of late?
It's kind of like being in this level of competition, it's going to be silly to expect someone with less skills, because we are speaking about top athletes. We are speaking about the elite of fighters who are on the top of the world fighters, right? And it's kind of like, definitely if she got where she is, she has to be good. And I'm preparing for the good fight. I'm preparing for a lot of scenes coming out from her. But in the same time, I know that she's strong, she's dangerous, but it doesn't mean that it's something else, something beyond what I'm expecting. I'm expecting hard fight. That's why I hard train. I train very hard. I train very strong, and that's why my training camp is like full power, and it's continue like all the way till this week, the hard trainings, and then for the fight week we're gonna start to slow down a little bit, but like the same, just to make sure that I am in my best shape.
Anybody who's trying to accomplish anything great has a tendency to harp on the things that they've done wrong, harp on the failures that they've had, and harp on the view, whether it's realistic or unrealistic, of other people, of them, and our failures, Yeah, I mean, I think one of the greatest things about that fight on May 15th was, I was this close, a gnat's eyelash, maybe one punch away. Maybe if it was a different referee, maybe that referee would have stepped in. I was so close to winning the UFC title. So that's one of the things that has, solidified me as one of the top guys and earned my right in this UFC lightweight division. But yeah, the saddest thing is that, man, I was that close, So it's just the nature of the sport. You can't enjoy the spoils and the fruits of your labor and the platform and the notoriety that we get and the money that we make and the bright lights that we get to fight under and compete under without also taking in stride the bad things that are going to come from this sport, the pain, the tears, the embarrassment, the physical and the emotional pain. You have to realize that this sport is going to do so many things to you. Sometimes you think it's completely fair. Sometimes you think it's unfair, but either way, you have to move forward. And just going back to that, to you, I shake my head because I think that's just one of the biggest problems with society or just the human nature. We are conditioned to, instead of look forward to us becoming a better version of ourselves, we are held back by those limiting beliefs of the failures of our past. So I think it's a trait that a lot of successful people all have in common, but it's also the most successful people that you've ever been around. Those people that are you just wonder, how in the heck is that guy or that gal so confident? And they had these failures and they had these setbacks, or they suffered bankruptcy, or they lost their business, or they lost this relationship, yet they were able to come back because they were able to overcome the negative self-talk and the negative self-reminders every single day of those times that they failed. And I guarantee every single person that is listening to this right now has suffered from that. But it's only by the constant and never-ending belief of continuing to move forward, accepting them, and showing yourself grace.
Hit the music, Daddy-O. Da 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 da. On the nose, yes, on the nose. Hope you got your questions in. I will be answering them momentarily. Don Black, what's your favorite cream cheese? Wow, what a great question. I really like cream cheese with some lox in it, either like the actual lox that you put, like smoked salmon, or mixed in. I like it with olives as well, but I don't like it too thick. I don't like it too whipped as well. Too whipped is not great for me. And not too thick as well. I don't like the low fat one. Like, you're already having cream cheese, for goodness sake. You really need low fat of something that's very fatty. By the way, in case you're wondering, I usually break my fast with a nice little, bagel and cream cheese, some smoked salmon. So yeah, those are the ones. There's a couple local places that I like. Tempty, I think, is one. Yeah, I'm a big fan of cream cheese. In fact, I make my kids lunch every day, and if I'm being honest, it's like 2 or 3 times cream cheese and bagel every week. I need to probably switch it up a little bit.
Here's like one experience that I go through an entire training camp. Like my family and myself sacrifice a lot so that I can be in the position that I'm in. I miss out on a lot of things. I carry a lot of guilt with me. And I said it in the presser, I could have been a doctor in the amount of time that I've put into this sport. I've sacrificed my entire adult life to try to be the best I can be. So I don't care if guys say they're going to, or they say or think or do kick my ass. Like, if that's part of the game, that's just fight. That's just the fight game. I don't care if they think I suck or I could have beat that guy better or he sucks here and his striking is shit or his jiu-jitsu is bad or what. Like, none of that stuff bothers me at all. The dismissiveness of my journey is what pisses me off, because that's where I put all the work into. Like, I don't care what he's done, and I don't care where he's been, and I don't care how long he's been fighting, and I don't care, like all the I don't care shit and the disrespect to my journey. So like last night, putting my kids to bed, it's Sunday night, and my 4-year-old goes into a hysterical mess. And she's just yelling and screaming that she wants me to hold her. And then she starts screaming, I don't want you to go. I don't want you to go. Over and over and over and over. And I was so confused. I didn't know what she was talking about because I wasn't going anywhere.
Uh-huh.
She's used to waking up every Monday morning with me being gone. And so like, she's got like PTSD of like me leaving. So for Ryan Spann to just blatantly just blow it off and like the shit that I've done and the shit that I do doesn't matter. It does matter, and it matters to a lot of people. Like there's a lot of people that care, and there's a lot of people, including my peers, that respect me, and that's where the anger came from me. Maybe he didn't mean it as a disrespectful comment in the way that he approached it and just completely wrote off everything I've ever done in the sport. But I was able to do that stuff because of the other sacrifices that I make. So again, maybe I made a mountain out of a molehill, but it really genuinely bothered me. So that's what I said to him as soon as the fight was over, was like, I bet you respect me now. Like, I bet you care now. Like, where's that ass whooping you said you were bringing? Because I didn't get it.
My flight was Sunday, and the consulate got in touch with me and said, no, we're not going to be able to process your visa till the end of this week. And I was just like, I'd done so much work to get to this point right now. So I went to social media. I turned to MMA Twitter. I turned to social media. I was on the 6 o'clock news here in New Zealand on a few different stations, and just everyone getting behind me and just bombarding the consulate. Like people were submitting like get Dan Hooker's visa as like full application. So it was everyone's help. Then out of the blue, they said, all right, we'll give you an appointment Monday at midday. Don't miss it. I got down there, got it done. So as far as I'm concerned, this fight's away. I'll be getting out of here Thursday.
I saw recently that you said eventually, by the time your career is done, you will do bare knuckle. This is something that you want. Were you kidding when you said that?
There is like a fine art to bare knuckle boxing.
Oh my!
If you go watch the Irish, the Travelers do it. Like they do it justice. I feel like it's like a real skill. It's probably it's definitely why MMA fighters have a lot of success in bare knuckle boxing against boxing. Just the smaller gloves like changes the guard a lot. Like it changes a lot of things. If you watch like a few of the like gypsy guys doing it, they're like 45-minute fights, 50-minute fights. Some of the most technical fights you'll ever watch. Like Joe Joyce, like some of the most technical fights you'll ever watch. That to me is like an art to it. Yeah, we'll see. It's a completely different art.
When did you actually make the decision that you were done? How many weeks or days after that Max Griffin fight in July?
Probably just while I was packing up my stuff. And I'll be honest with you, I've been leaving. I think I've said this before. I've been leaving a hotel room after a loss and been pissed off, and leaving all my gear and in a real salty mood, and basically I'm done with this shit. But this time was different. I wasn't salty about it. I just felt like it was the right move. And actually, probably about 3 weeks or a month ago, I called Dana and let him know, or I texted him and he called me. So this thing has been, it's been coming down the pipe for a little while.
And what was that conversation like?
It was great. I think me and Dana have a pretty good relationship, and he said thank you. I thanked him for all the opportunities, and that was that. Like the amount of time and energy that I am still willing to put into fighting at the highest levels. I think that is in some ways I'm compromising things in my life, in my personal life. So to train as a professional mixed martial artist at the highest level of the sport, that takes a lot. That takes a lot out of me, energetically, emotionally, just everything. And so I have less to give to the rest of my life. And at this point, I don't want to make that compromise anymore.
10 in a row you have not lost. Why aren't you fighting for the belt next?
I could not answer that, Errol, to be fair. Like I said, it's been 6 years since my last loss. Kobe got beat by the champion, went for Woodley. The fight ended by a injury, sat out for over a year, then got the title shot. Well, when I go and get 10 fights in a row, now he needs at least one more. He needs one more. Every time it's one more, and I think they're trying to get me beat, but I cannot lose there, and I will not lose. And now I truly believe that I will be the next world champion, and they're trying to hold me back from it, but it's coming. I truly believe it. He's had his title shot. Master has two title shots. Now I've been there the last 6 years, grinding away, keep my head down, doing everything the company asks of me, and still, like I said, they're trying to fight against me and say I'm scared on social media. I don't want to fight them, but mate, you've had your title shot. I've done everything I needed to do. I've proven my case time and time again. 10 in a row. That's the most in the division. Obviously to the champion, Usman. So if I don't deserve it, who does?
And here we are. Are you kind of tired of thinking about Brian Ortega? I would imagine at this point, like you're just kind of tired of prepping for this guy. You actually want to actually fight him, right?
Oh, mate, yeah. There's obviously you got the two camps that I had to do for this bloke.
and then do an Ultimate Fighter with him as well.
That's
and
right, yeah.
and now obviously I want to put my hands on him as well. So I just can't wait. I'm excited, mate. I'm honestly, even this whole fight week process, I didn't get to do that last time. So even me just having chats with you guys and being with the boys that are usually with us fight week and just doing all the fight week shenanigans, mate, I'm enjoying the process. I'm probably one of the fighters that does enjoy the process. It lets me know that, we're here, we've got a job to do. It's you know what I mean? That's why we're here. So it's good. So I'm enjoying it. I'm excited to get back in there. And not only that, I can't wait to punch Ortega in the face.
I feel like overwhelming gratitude. I feel so happy. I'm very, very proud of myself. I don't know. I'm loving this. This is something that many, many fighters dream about and they never, get to realize. And for me to see, we really, we bled and sweat and cried and grinded our way to the top. And for me, I just don't think there's any other way it could ever have been. That's, how my life has kind of been. That's how my fight career has been. And I think that's how the fight's going to go Saturday night. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be hard. It's going to hurt. There's going to be a lot of challenges to overcome, but I believe in my ability to overcome those challenges.
Can I ask you about Jake Paul? Are you a fan of the Jake Paul thing or not so much?
I'm not really a fan of anything. I just think that it's, I think it's dope. I think that it's cool that somebody that's out of nowhere just fucking started beating professional athletes up. It's pretty amazing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's him. Because at the end of the day, it's I don't know where he comes. It comes from YouTube, right? And fucking
Disney
film and shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of great. It's kind of great. It's fucking shit up. People are asking me to do shows about fighting and shit like that in fight camps and celebrity fighting. He's doing it's the hottest fad around. It's making the most money. He unlocked the key.
Mm-hmm.
He unlocked something.
You say that you found peace these days, Mark. Are you referring to your sobriety?
Yes, I am.
How many days?
155 days today, and I've never felt better in my life. I had 5 months ago today, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to do the induction. I really hit rock bottom. I mean, you can always go a little lower, but I'm going to call this my rock bottom. I'm never going back there again. And thank God I had my good friend Wes Sims, who came and basically he shoved me into the rehab center in Columbus, Ohio. Seacrest Rehab Center, and it's probably the best choice. Not probably, it is the best choice I've ever made in my life to go there and seek help, because I realized you can't do it alone. I needed help, and all of us need help. We're all in this together, and there's a lot of us out there, and I'm gonna my door's open for anybody that wants help, because I see what it did for me. It's changed my life for the better. And I'm really just so happy these days.
Yes, last year, the great writer John Wertheim of Sports Illustrated wrote just an absolutely eye-opening piece, a very revealing piece about this Oklahoma State sex scandal.
Ohio State, brother.
Oh, gosh. Ohio State. I'm thinking of Daniel
don't
Cormier.
get those mixed up.
Yes, of course. Ohio State. My apologies. My sincerest apologies.
It's all right.
We were just talking about D.C. With action, so I was thinking of OSU. Ohio State. And I have to be honest with you, Mark, I didn't know any of this. And I even feel till this day, correct me if you feel otherwise, I feel like this doesn't get the same kind of attention as other. I'm not trying to diminish any other scandal or any other case, but I was one stat that it's about a doctor named Dr. Richard Strauss, who was a very prominent figure at the school for many years, I believe like 3 decades. One stat that jumped out at me from the piece, I'm taking this from the piece, according to a report commissioned by Ohio State, before he was done, Richard Strauss committed at least 1,429 instances of fondling and 47 instances of rape. I mean, that is just astounding. And my understanding is that you were victimized by him as well, correct?
Yeah, yes, I was. at first, me and Mike Sabato, we were the ones that came out and blew the whistle on the whole thing because we had been watching. I had been watching the Larry Nassar gymnastics sexual harassment lawsuit, and I just kind of started thinking about what happened to us, 20 years earlier, and we joked about it mainly. We joked about it because we just didn't think it was possible for a man-on-male athlete situation. We just didn't think that was possible, but then now we realize it is possible, and it did happen. And we took a lot of abuse, man. We took a lot of heat. I took a lot of heat for coming out and saying this. Everybody thought for sure we was just trying for a damn money grab. How could this happen to a, big-ass Mark Coleman? How can this happen? Well, it did, and I wanted to be a national champion. That's all I knew. And I didn't even know how to stir shit up. And we're dealing with Ohio State University. We're talking about the biggest business, one of the biggest businesses in America. And they're doing a hell of a job of just covering it up. But it's getting some attention. We need more attention to it. Right now, we just found out that the judge presiding over this, hell, who knows? His wife works for Ohio State, and he didn't disclose none of this. So right now, it's in the judge's hands. He may have to step down, and we have to start over all again. I just really want it to be over with. But I'm glad I found peace because it's been a long time.
Why do you feel like this isn't being talked about as much?
Well, it's man on man. It's not a man on a woman. So man on man, people don't think it can happen. Look at Michigan State. Look at Penn State. They're in the middle of big lawsuits. This happens all over the place. People just don't realize it, and now it's finally coming to a head, coming to attention. And then again, we're dealing with Ohio State University, the Ohio State University, a very big university, and they want this thing just to be end and cover up, but they're not doing. They've admitted that they were wrong. Ohio State has admitted that they were wrong, but they're really not stepping up to the plate and taking care of it.
You show someone the third round of Saturday night's main event. Show someone who doesn't believe in this sport. Show someone who is not a fan of this sport that third round, and there is no chance in hell that they don't become an MMA fan. If they're not an MMA fan already, you need to have that third round in your back pocket in case you're ever at a party, at some kind of social function, a coffee shop, a bar, and you mention to someone that you're either an MMA fan, that you work in MMA, and they question you, and they say that it's a crazy sport, that it's barbaric, that it's this, that. Show them that third round. I don't know, and of course, we're always, victims of the moment, and we get all fired up, and it's the best this, the best that. I don't know if I've ever seen a round quite like that with those stakes attached on that type of stage involving two of the best in their respective weight class that left me with the feelings that I felt after watching that, in awe of both men. What about a Dominic Cruz?
Oh, man, that would be a dream fight.
You're 11 right now. It's going to change probably. You're 11, he's 10. Frankie is booked. Cody is moving down to 125. That would be a good one. Marlon, you just beat. Then there's Jose, Rob Font. Corey, it looks like he might fight, he might fight for the interim belt. TJ just had surgery, and I feel like, let's go. Merab versus Dominic Cruz. Let's go, Merab.
Let's go. This is great matchup, man. This is great matchup. I love this matchup. Thank you.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy because right now I do everything I like to do. I fight boxing because this is my dream. And very soon I go fight jiu-jitsu, gi and no gi too, and my last goal is go to Thailand and fight Muay Thai, in the same level. And I'm just continue doing my job.
What about Jake Paul? Your old promoter Dana White he's trying to make Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. He keeps talking about it. What do you think of that?
Well, a lot of people talking about that, and I just waiting, but I'm preparing my mind and preparing my body. I train every day with my coach, to do my best, and I don't know. We'll see.
I felt it was good. I felt it was a good performance. I felt it was a solid performance. I felt like I had, I'd found an advantage in the wrestling once I grabbed a hold of him, and I just went to that well. It's like people saying, well, you were winning the striking. Why didn't you just stay striking? It's like you can just save that for when you need it, right? Like if he was able to get back to his feet and scramble to his feet and make me strike, well, then I can make myself strike. Like striking, your leg, your shins get bashed up, your face gets bashed up, you bust your hands. Like it's grappling's like definitely the safer route to victory. So I just did that, and it's the experience from those 2 losses, just to be a good decision maker, to be, it gave me a lot of mental maturity, that fight, those 2 fights. There was like a lot of mental growth there, a lot of mental maturity, which I can now do in the future. That's why I was so excited to get in there and fight and show the improvements that I've made, not only in my physical attributes, but also like just the way I mentally approach the game.
Let us go to the Zoom machine and say hello to the reigning, defending UFC featherweight champion. Let me stand up for him right now. Let me stand up for Alex. This guy right here. What a performance, my friend. What a performance, Alex. I'm in awe of you. I mean, it happened 48 hours ago, a little less. I can't believe what you did. One of my favorite fights, maybe the greatest round that I've ever seen in a title fight, round 3. Congratulations, my friend. That was truly something that I don't think many people on earth could pull off. You did it. Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, it was a crazy ride, this whole thing. But, mate, that was a fun fight. Fun. And as you said, man, finally getting that recognition that I feel like I deserve, which is pretty cool. But, just thankful to be in the position I am right now.
Could you tell us how close you were to either going out or tapping out? Like, how close were you?
It was close. It was really, really close. It was so obviously I'm going to fight, you know what I mean? But I was at a stage where I was like, even you almost like it was changing color. Not changing color, but I mean, I was like, oh, no. I remember even thinking, there was like you watch movies and they talk about, your life flashes before your eyes type thing. So I had like a little moment like that, honestly. I'm not lying. It was a moment where it was that deep and I'm like, kept fighting. I'm like, oh no, this is it. I'm not taking the belt back home to my family. I remember thinking of my family in that moment, which is pretty cool. So that shit you see in the movie, you know what I mean? But that's what I was honestly thinking about. I was like, this can't be how I lose my belt. There's no way, you know what I mean? And I just obviously kept fighting. And before you knew it, I just got a little bit of space and then I was all good. So yeah, man, it was, again, most people would have tapped or just completely gave up because there was not anything I could, but my mate just eventually gave me that space and it was all good. But again, man, just resilience and just, you know what I mean? And just never die attitude.
The inimitable Michael Venom Page. What is going on here? You going to play some music for us?
Oh man, I'm mixing it up right now, man.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
I'm in my vibe. You gotta join me, man.
Oh, let's do MVP up in this.
I'm in my vibe. Are you ready, Ariel?
I feel it. Oh, it's a Wednesday. We got MVP up in it. I'm feeling this MVP. I wasn't expecting this. Look at this guy.
I think that's a pretty good logical reason to not want to be paralyzed in the octagon. I'm not looking to be the first person to win a belt by DQ and the first guy to be in the octagon and be paralyzed in the cage.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry that if I think my health is more important and the longevity of me living in my body, my capsule for the rest of my life is more important than proving some stupid beef who's the better fighter when I'm not even at 100% yet, So Jan can say whatever he wants. He can talk all the shit he wants. He posted some shit with me and my fiance. I don't know if he thought it was trying to be funny, saying like, oh, he's got a new job now. Instead of fighting, he's doing this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing activities with my fiance. Good job. Thank you for sending me a picture of my fiance. And I trying to make a joke, posting it on social media, thinking that I don't know what he thought it was. If it was like me out partying or some shit. I'm like, I'm out with my lady. I'm out with my lady. Do I post pictures of you and your lady saying you pulled out of the fight? Do I post pictures of you and your kids saying you pulled out of the fight? So it's like, what are we doing? I don't know if he didn't know that was my fiance. I'm pretty sure he knows what my fiance looks like. So it's not, but that's a whole nother topic. I just think the guy's a piece of shit. That's just my personal opinion of the guy. And I just really can't wait to get back in there and smack the fuck out of him. I want to fight him, but there's going to be a point in the fight where I'm telling you, I'm just going to slap the fuck out of him. I'm just going to slap the shit out of him. Like this whole thing, Ariel, could have been avoided. I just hope the fans understand that the reasonable fans with the brain actually understand that this was all because of Peter Yan, that this division is now in this situation. It's because of him. He could have won the fight. He was on his way of dominating. He started to pull away. He was beating my ass all fourth round. I still landed 2 head kicks right before I shot in, and then he kneed me in the head. But he was beating my ass. That's a fact, But this is all his fault because he's that stupid, You want a champ that doesn't know the rules and does illegal, tries to get away with sly, dirty shit. I mean, to each his own, But this is all on him. He's the reason we're in this situation to begin with. We could have been going on. I could have been still recovering, doing my own thing, not having clown emojis on my page because I'm healing from a surgery, and things would have been normal, regular, or I don't even know. Can you call that normal? Whatever. Things would have been different, but this guy did this. He caused this. This is not my doing. This is what he did. I'm sorry that he didn't abide by the rules. I'm sorry that he's a fucking moron. That's really what this comes down to, So
here, I think if you fight Amanda Nunes next at 135, you're beating her. I think you beat Amanda Nunes next. Agree or disagree?
And this is my goal. This is my, I know that when we will have fight next time, it's going to be like, I will be ready to do anything. So definitely we have like time pass, like I am a different fighter. She's a different fighter than the last time we fought. And definitely in my mind, in my mindset, I don't have any kind of like, maybe if I will try, no, my mind is like only there, only forward. No matter die, I have to die there, but I have to win there.
So I've been knocked out like cold, but that wasn't, I remember the shot that landed, and then I remember I fell on my back, and I was like, shit, get up. And I sucked my hand and I underhooked, and I was trying to get up, and it was just that perfect opportunity for him to execute that knee. When I was trying to get up, and he landed it, and I felt it, and I felt every shot afterwards. And then once, the ref pulled him off, I was like, God damn it. And he goes, take your time. I was like, I'm fine. Get up. When I got up and went over to congratulate him. And and that's how it went down.
In America, that knee is illegal. How do you feel about that? Like for the vast majority of your career, that move means you win the fight. Was that strange for you? I know you know what the rule set is, but it's a freaking weird thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird thing. When I came back home from the fight, a lot of people are like, dude, what the hell was that? I was like, what do you mean? He goes, how come that son of SOB didn't get disqualified? And I was like, okay, well, one, in one championship, that is legal. You can knee to ground or put it. And they're like, I never, my milkman, that's what I was having a conversation. He goes, didn't know that. Like, you had the whole house being pissed off. We were like, that son of a bitch been disqualified. And I was like, well, it's in one championship. It's legal. You can knee to ground opponent. Like, I never seen that before. So half the time I'm explaining to people that, it's legal over there. And then, and they're like, you never have to experience that. And I told my coach that too. And I was like, you go through training camp, and how often do you get rocked? Right? Not very often, because you only suffer concussions or get dropped in training. So when I stuck my arm in there, I've never done it before in my life. Never stuck my arm in there and try to get up that way. Usually you should go to your back or you go to legs. But, who trains when they're rocked? And it's the first time I've been experienced in that position getting up, because I've been dropped before. Dodson has dropped me multiple times in a fight, and I'm able to recover and get back in the fight. So, but yeah, it's something that is legal over there, and I had to get used to it. I found out the hard way, I guess.
I hope Thiago bring him to the hell, because I want to feel at home, because hell was my home, because I've been there many times.
Wow.
And I want to put him out of my comfort zone. If he bring me there, I'm going to be, thank you, my friend, because I'm ready for this, because I train so hard, and I'm really ready for this. So I don't want to finish the fight so quick, I hope I can show a really good show for the people, show my heart, my technique and everything. So I really want to fight. I hope we can do a really great show and the fight of the night, maybe a fight of the year. I don't know. Let's see.
Wow, I never heard someone say that. You want them to bring you to hell so that you can feel comfortable.
Yes, please.
Jeez Louise, that is a scary thought. But what's changed? Is it just maturity? You're just more like I could feel you're a different guy. You're not the same guy that I talked to 11 years ago. And of course, we all change. We all get more confident and wiser. But you've got like a swag to you now. You've got confidence. What has ultimately changed about you?
You know, the biggest thing is just like I've been put myself in a box for so long, just not having fun, not letting my personality hang out. And just one day I was like, you know what? I got tired of it. I'm like, you know, I'm not going to be going to the gym every single day, not having fun with what I'm doing. You know, just being in the UFC is just not enough. I see so many fighters get content with fighting the top promotion, you know, the UFC, being marketed properly, whatever, and they're kind of content. You know, I just got sick and tired of like the day-to-day stuff. You know, I got like a great personality. I'm a funny guy. And I was always super tight because I felt like, okay, the promotion pushing so-and-so. But I said, you know what, I'm going to go out and do my own thing and then just be myself, you know? So
I'm calling you now, Derek. Don't they know you're live on the MMA Hour?
How do I snooze this thing? Like I said, man, things a little bit different, man, Ariel. You know, you're lucky you got a little bit of my time today.
How has it been with you over the last few months?
Over the last few months, I've been very stable. You always drift in and out of sanity, I believe. If you're a mental health struggler, then you're always struggling with reality and your own little world inside your head. So, but most days I've learned to manage and maintain the problem. The way I do it is I keep active, I keep busy, and I keep focused on training. And all the time I'm training and I'm going to the gym, I'm letting out that energy, letting out that bit of steam. I feel good. But if I don't do it for a week or so, I feel terrible. And everyone's like to me, you never have no time off, you're going to overtrain. It's like, I can't afford to have time off because it's not my body I'm training, it's my mind. So if I have too much time off, I go backwards, not in physical strength, but mental strength. Training is like my place of solitude, my happy place that I need to go there every single day of my life, mostly twice a day. Because once I train in the morning, it gets to around about 7 o'clock and it starts wearing off. Then I need to go again. So people say to me, what are you going to do when you can't train anymore? Well, I'm planning on training until the day I die. I like to fucking train my balls off every single day, knowing that nobody else is doing it. I like running early in the mornings and late at night. I like putting the work in. Even though I'm dressing in silk pajamas and I don't have to go out like the old fighters used to say, it's easy to get up when you're broke or when you've got money or when you're in your silk pajamas, you don't want to get out of bed. I just do more than I've ever done. I sacrifice more today than I did when I was absolutely starting off with nothing from the bottom. And I don't know even how that's possible. I'm tighter today. Now I've made it than I ever was coming up. I'm more stricter, more dedicated, train more, smarter, train smarter. But before it was like, it's this dream job to be heavyweight champion of the world and all of the shit that comes with it. But when you get there to the top, you find out that the real only thing that matters is your training, is your boxing, is your fights, and all the other bullshit that comes along with it. The fame, the glory, the credit, the articles, the money, whatever you can buy with the money. It's all short-lived crap. Because at the end of the day, you're only as good as your last tenner. And that's all she wrote. And you know, when it's all over, no motherfucker wants to know. You're just another prick with money. And that's all you'll ever be. Another bare bum in the shower. And everybody loves a winner. But no motherfucker loves a loser. And they all jump off the dick when he's lost. Look at AJ. He had everybody on his dick. He's had 2 defeats and now nobody's on it. Excuse my French. Everybody loves a winner. Deontay Wilder was some sort of folk hero. Now he's just a big dosser. And you know, everybody, you're only as good as your last fight. That's a fact. No matter how many fights you win in your life, you're only remembered for your final loss.
Think about it. I got headbutted, right? And then how long after was I in the choke? I mean, of course I'm going to defend myself. You know what I mean? I hit the ground. I'm like, don't exactly know what's going on, but you know, here I am.
And I mean, honestly, I don't remember defending the Darce choke. I don't remember throwing up a fucking triangle. You know what I mean? I don't remember guard. All I remember is rear naked choke, trying to fight the choke, swallowing some blood, and being like, yo, I'm in a fucked up position and I don't know how I got here. So, yeah.
So do you agree that it should have just been stopped in that moment and none of this would have been a factor? Like, we could have avoided all this had he just stopped the fight when you got headbutted.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, could have stopped it then. You know what I mean? Could have, restarted. I don't know. So many different things we could have did. Yeah. It's a fist fight, you know? It's like, I would have taken it either way it went. You know, it's like, if they would have been like, hey, you guys want to run it after the Johnny Walker fight? I'd have been like, right on, let's go. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
It seemed like you guys are cool with each other. Was it cool backstage? I know you did interviews and stuff backstage. Was everything on your end, like, was everything handled the right way?
I don't have any animosity towards, I don't feel like Kyle's ever said anything crazy or done anything wrong towards me. You know what I mean? We were at the grocery store together, him and his brother and his coach. They're pretty cool. You know what I mean? I had no problems with anybody over there, you know, but business is business. And I feel like business is not fully done yet. You know what I mean? I feel like everything was going great until the headbutt, you know what I mean? So I was like, I didn't see him taking me down. I didn't see myself hitting the floor, you know? So it's like how I got there, that sucks. You know, him getting my back and getting the choke, that sucks even more, but I'm not one to make excuses. So, you know, it's like I said, if he feels good about that, you know, it's like I said, he can borrow my number until we fight. If we don't fight and I end up fighting somebody else, well, then that means somebody else gets a chance at that number, right?
So is there a chance in your mind, have you prepared yourself that you won't go home for the rest of the year, for the rest of 2021?
Oh, yeah, that's... You're like Mr. One today. That's this year. That's it. Done.
That's the last one.
Yeah. It's like the last one for this year. Like, you missed the. So yeah, I'll be able to tell you by this afternoon if my 1 in 200 shot fails. I'll be here. But mentally, I've prepared. You know, just to get my family over here and to make the most of it. Like, things are pretty shut down in New Zealand. Like, the COVID situation is getting like a little bit, they've pretty much gone away from as of yesterday, like the elimination strategy. Like that's gone now. They've attempt to eliminate COVID in New Zealand is pretty much gone. So they'll be the last place to open in the world. So things are still moving pretty slow over there.
All right, here we go. Here's Jake Paul talking about Tommy Fury.
This is the last time I'm speaking about this guy if we don't end up fighting, because I'm starting to get pissed off. Tommy Fury's about to fumble the biggest bag of his life. Tommy, I made you famous. I gave you the biggest payday of your life. You came to the U.S., got your U.S. debut for your dream to come true. I gave you a chance to shine in front of the whole entire world, and now I'm offering to quadruple the biggest payday of your life that I gave you to fight me. For everyone at home, this is what happens when you give someone clout, when you give them an ego. They start to think they're better than they actually are. I have dozens of other fighters calling me out every single week, Tommy. You're replaceable.
I saw you laughing while that clip was playing. That's Jake Paul, of course, on his Instagram. I think he posted that. What do you make of that message from Jake Paul?
It sums him up, to be fair, doesn't it? It's complete bullshit. I mean, the man talking about he made me famous, this and that. That's obviously, everyone knows that's, you know, it's kidology. That's all it is. I can't even talk about that because it's just that much silliness. And the reason why everything's bullshit in what he's saying is because I'm not replaceable. And the fact that I'm not replaceable is that everyone's sick of seeing him fight these same fighters. UFC this, UFC that, good record, old men. He can't, there's no one else out there, with a brother like mine, the best fighter in the whole entire world, WBC lineal world heavyweight champion, and me below, in the same category as Jake Paul, with the clout I've got. Name me one other boxer who's had 7 professional fights and got the recognition that I have. Fair point. It might be from another thing, but still, the recognition is there. You know, there's nobody else, and that's the reason why this fight's still getting talked about and negotiated, because he knows how big this fight is. And if he went off and fought another UFC man, people would stop losing interest. And he knows that. So all what he's saying there is stupid. It's absolutely stupid. I don't buy into anything that Jake Paul says, because I know when we get in that ring, I'm going to let my fist do the talking. I know it's cliche for a boxer to say, but there'll be no game plan for that fight. I'll go straight over to him and I will annihilate Jake Paul. He's tailor-made for me. He don't move his head. He's useless anyway. I'd let Jake Paul hit me for fun. He's no good.
Or UFC gave me the career, but Bellator gave me the life. Like after the first check, my wife didn't have to work.
Wow.
Bought her a new car. And fly my family out. Fly my family to fights now. I can go vacation. We can do whatever because I made more money in 2 fights here than I did in my whole career in the UFC.
Wow. And how many fights total?
So far, I've only had 2. I had 15 in the UFC.
No. I mean, how many do you have on this deal with Bellator?
Oh, 6.
Okay, so you're good. And so could I ask, I mean, obviously the money's a big deal, but like what's the biggest difference for someone who was there 15 fights to now 2? And obviously you're fighting in a bit of a weird time with the pandemic, but like, can you say what the differences are for you, at least in terms of the way you feel and the way you are being treated in Bellator as opposed to the UFC?
The best thing I feel, the number one thing I say to everybody, like I talk to young athletes and they ask, like, Corey, you've been to top in UFC and you're top Bellator. Where do you go? For me, like a person like me, you know, I'm not flashy. I don't wear diamond chains and all that. So UFC, they want the people like Conor McGregor. Like they said in the UFC summit before, we looking for people that's going to be the next Conor McGregor. Like Dana says all the time, next Conor McGregor, next Ronda Rousey, that they can market, can make them money. You know, and that's the people that's getting those title fights faster. Those are the people that's pushing up faster. The Johnny Walkers that come in exciting, the people they market. I'm not that guy. And as for Bellator, for me, they don't ask that of me. And when I sat down with Scott Coker the day after I signed the contract, and I told him straight up, like, one of the things I had a problem with the UFC is they wanted me to be something I'm not. I'm a simple guy. I'm a country boy. I work hard. At everything I do, but I just don't get into the media and going out there trying to be flashy and sell myself to help promote. And he was like, Mr. Anderson, I can promise you, you come here, you do what you're supposed to do, and you win, you will move forward.
Why did you want to leave the UFC?
I mean, there wasn't so much, like, at the time when I left, I didn't really want to leave. You know, it was just at that time of my career, it's time to do something different. You know, like I said, we go back. I don't want to go too far back because I'm happy where I am. I don't want to talk about the past because we worry about the future. But at the time, like everybody, I was voicing my opinion about a lot of stuff. And I had a lot of headbutts with the organization. I feel after the thing happened with John Jones at I think it was 227 or whatever. No.
Yeah, it was December, right? Yeah. The Gustafson fight.
December, we went from Vegas to DC and all that. And after that, I just felt like right after that, when I voiced my opinion, and I was the only fighter to voice my opinion, and everybody was calling me about doing interviews. And it was like, I started getting a lot of backlash off that. I started my relationship with different employees, and people in the UFC got different because I could see how they would treat him, how they treat other people. And that rubbed me the wrong way because I've always been the person, everybody should be treated the same. And that point, he's a star, and the rest of us are just numbers. And like towards the end, after the loss, like I said, my manager called me, and like if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in the position I am. He made it clear to me. He was like, I mean, you can stay, but you know you're going to keep butting heads. It's going to be a tough battle. You're going to have these bad relationships that you already made bad blood with a lot of people, or you can do a fresh start, man. You want to start new, you want to stay here. And then at the time, I remember you calling me because I was there with DC, and DC sat me down and we talked about it. And he was like, just think about it, man. It's like, you're going to be great wherever you go. Wherever you go, you're going to do great because you're that good. I'm training with you. I see that. But it's just different, like thinking about money, financially. My second kill is on the way. It's like, just go in the room and put all that stuff in perspective and just think about it. And then make your decision. And that's what I did. Called my wife. We talked it over with the money and different opportunities I can get with sponsors and possibly getting a better contract or somewhere else. I called Ali. I was like, you know what? Let's just get the release and let's take it. Let's go free agent and make some calls and see what happens.
It's crazy. Does it feel like sometimes that you're living in like a bizarro world or something? People calling you a coward, people calling you this and that, and yet you are literally fighting guys who some are not even ranked, some are, way there's no one else doing this, Leon. It's crazy. I read it and I go nuts. I can't imagine how you read it.
Yeah, it's a mad world. MMA world is mad. I've grown to realize these people are crazy. I can't listen to it. I just keep doing my thing and, like I said, stay focused on the task at hand. And you can't pay too much attention to it. Otherwise, you drive you mad. Some of the shit I see on social media is like, oh, mate, like, what's going on? Well, like I said, everyone out there, they're tweeting, they're talking shit, but I'm the only one that's making these moves. I'm the only one that's putting it all in line. I was going to a title shot, Ariel. I'm taking a back step, fight number 6 in the world, to then fought for Tao, and so it's all good.
Do you think that the UFC wants to be in the Francis Ngannou business? Do you think that they want to promote you and make you into a huge star?
Honestly, that's not the feeling that I have. I think, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I don't fear that because, in my opinion, for right now, for what I'm seeing, UFC trying to discredit me. That's what I know. And those promoting somebody cannot work together with discredit him. You don't do that to somebody that you want to promote.
Now, if you ask me, Casey, you have one of the best nicknames in MMA right now. I love your nickname, King Casey O'Neill. It reminds me, I don't know if you're a pro wrestling fan, but there's a wrestler named Becky Lynch who calls herself the Man. And I love it. It makes people uncomfortable. It's so freaking great. I love everything. And I love your nickname just as much. Who came up with this nickname?
So it was actually my Australian coach sort of used to just tell me all the time that the way I trained was king shit. So he used to refer to my work ethic as king shit. And I just loved the ring that King Casey had. So we started running with that. When I became a pro, I wanted to have a nickname, and I wanted it to be good and polarizing and people were going to talk about it, good or bad. And I think that King Casey suits me so well, I know that people don't love it, which makes me love it even more. And yeah, I'm going to run with it for the rest of my career.
Well, I love it. And I feel like that's most important in all of this. I mean, really, there's nothing else that matters than my opinion. So I think it's great. And I think you should run with it. Do you get a lot of crap for it? I feel like a lot of insecure guys will DM you and be like, yeah, it's a stupid nickname. How dare you, blah, blah, blah. You get that stuff, right?
I get it all the time.
Oh, God.
And that's what makes me love it even more. Everyone comments all over, the UFC uploads it and they comment why is she naming herself the King?
Oh, it's brilliant.
I get that all the time, but I can do what I want and I love it. So it's staying.
Yeah, I had a feeling you asked me about that, but I have to let everybody know, I'm very disappointed. It's tough. The hardest part was when you hear that his daughter said you got to call the police officers. You know what? It's just tough because from my standing, it's I got 3 daughters. I have a wife, 3 daughters, a mom. I teach women's self-defense called Smart Girl Self-Defense. And it just makes it hard, when he keeps getting in trouble. But I just had a conversation with him. I said, John, here's the deal, man. You're like my little brother. You have to stop drinking and fix these things for a certain period of time until you can come back to the gym. So at the moment, he's out of the gym. He's not allowed to come in the gym because I feel that... I don't know. I feel I had to do that because ignoring it and expecting different results, as they say, is insanity. He's got a lot of yes people around him that won't tell him the truth. So he might hate me for it, but I had to tell him the truth. But in my heart, gosh, that guy's capable of greatness. And I'm not talking just about fighting. In my heart, I hope he comes back, wins the heavyweight title, stops drinking, goes forward. And goes on to bigger things. Oh my goodness, he's capable. He's so charismatic and so dang smart, and he can sit down, break down fights, and he can break down a lot of things in life. He's capable of doing much bigger things than just his MMA world.
To be in the midst of constant hate all the time, why do you? And
I love it to be.
Come on, and you bring it upon yourself. You bring it upon yourself. Why?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I take it all on the chin. They're going to pay either way to see me get knocked out or knock someone out. So it doesn't really make a difference. And it's fucked up. The one thing that pisses me off about all this shit is that they don't appreciate the entertainment. It's they all are talking about me. They're all talking shit. John Jones is fucking tweeting on me. And it's okay, come on. I'm fucking, without me in MMA, what's exciting?
Stop it. I don't know. This is, I can get behind some of the stuff. And then you say ridiculous crap like this. What are you talking about?
Be honest.
What?
What else is more entertaining?
On Twitter or in the cage?
Entertain.
You haven't fought since June of 2019. By the way, on my life right now, just I'm being real on my life. You ask me right now the names of the 2 guys that you fought. I have no idea. If they walked into my house and asked me to fix my garage, I'd be like, yeah, sure. You could come right here. I don't know who these people are.
After you fight me, what happens? That's what they do, actually.
Who are they? Do you even know the names of the guys you fought? Do you even know the names? Come on.
I probably don't, to be honest.
Junior, you're one of the nicest guys in the world. I've never seen you not smile. You playing a bad guy is a hard thing for me to stomach because I know you're such a sweetheart. You're such a nice guy. Is it hard for you to not smile when you're out there because you're trying to be against all the wrestling guys? That must be difficult, no?
Not really, Ariel. Actually, I've been learning a lot from my career, of my life. I've been learning a lot. And like you said, I've been always that nice guy, nice for everybody. But there's some people out there, they don't deserve you to be nice with them.
Oh.
They'll turn their back on you whenever they have the chance to, So the thing is, I like being nice, but I gotta just be more cautious about who I'm going to be nice with, So I like playing that a little bad side as well, that I'm doing the pro wrestling, because it brings me some kind of comfort, and I feel, man, I was feeling so excited for this debut, I was feeling like a long time I wasn't feeling in the MMA world, because all the time was a lot of pressure on top of me, and people demanding things all the time, and not caring about you. And now I was there and I was being appreciated to be there again. So I felt amazing. And I said, man, this is an amazing feeling. This is something that I felt at the beginning of my career, at the middle of my career, when I became champion. And it's great to be feeling again.
Dan, that was a great promo from Sagano.
Quit being a mark. The good guy gimmick was just his shtick in MMA. He's really an ass.
I've always said it. Nothing's personal. It's all business in this game. I just I don't like the dude. I could care less for him. If he gets rich or if he doesn't get rich, I don't wish him any good or bad. I could care less for this individual since I've met him, And it's still the same thing. I could give a fuck less about him. It's just another guy in the way of me achieving my goals and dreams and all the things that all the aspirations I've had since a child. So
he says it's personal for him. That it's never been this personal.
Idiot. I'm glad it is, I mean, he's an idiot. I'm going to still do what I do, slap him up, beat him up, and upset him the whole damn time, while we're fighting. But to me, it's never personal with these guys, It can be. This is a business. I signed up for this. I know exactly what I signed myself up to since I signed the dotted line when I was 18, I knew what I was getting myself into.
Do you understand why it's personal for him?
I don't give a fuck why it's personal for him or not, to tell you the truth. I know you guys are friends and you're like his therapist, counselor. You look like he was crying in your show.
Come on.
Not to be rude to you, but I really could give a fuck why it's personal to him. I don't care. It's not my business, my concern. I know what I have to do, and I know what I'm going to get done on December 11th.
Or there they are, my good friends, Davison and Valid. How are you? Bom dia.
How you doing, my brother? Thanks to talk to Ariel Helwani.
Let's go.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah.
Good afternoon now. Yeah. Good afternoon. You say bom dia because you say in Portuguese bom dia. You say in English good morning, but it's a boa tarde.
Boa tarde. Sorry. Boa tarde. A lot of people, I don't know if you know this, have been referring to me as Thug Nose. And this is, of course, paying homage to you. Am I allowed to run with this, Rose, or would you rather me stand back?
Of course. That's what I'm calling you every time now.
I mean, it's a pretty damn good nickname, if you ask me, right? I mean, Thug Nose, pretty damn good.
Yes.
Okay, so I have your blessing.
Of course, yeah.
All right, cool. Thug Rose meets Thug Nose here on the MMA Hour.
Yeah.
Could you tell us, what gets you down now? What makes you feel sorry for yourself? And how do you overcome that?
It's a good question. I think just not realizing what it is that every day is a gift, every day is a blessing. Just not counting your blessings. And even though you're it's so weird because when you do get in that zone, I think I think it's fear and anxiety and sometimes depression. I think I notice the patterns that I go through, and it's I'll be fearing something in the future and I'll get anxious and then I'll worry about it. And then, do all this worrying and stuff. And then I'll get myself so tired that I'll get depressed. because I'm so tired that like I just sat there worrying about it and didn't do anything about it. And then I'll get sad on myself. And then I'll be like, I got to do something, and I'll get anxious again. So obviously, you know, I think it's just like, identifying what your fears are and then figuring out what it is that you can do about it, and then pray about it, and then do something about it. And then, you know, if you're having trouble doing something about it, obviously there's, you know, that's what your support system's there for and whatnot. But yeah, I think that's kind of what I go through. A lot of what I do seems like it's so genius and and it's like, I'm just being myself. You know what I mean? I am a genius at what I do, but it's because I'm truly just being honest and being myself. So, you know, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, you go in there with a game plan and you have a plan and stuff, but it's a fight, you know, like I don't sit around, you know, planning each and every step of the way. So whatever I said in my interview is what I said, because that's how I truly felt at that moment in time. And, you know, whatever else came from that, I was worried I was going to get booed because of all the terrible press and media that I got. So, you know what I mean? I don't, you know, she wants to think that, she can think that, but she doesn't have to.
How do you feel about her now? Like, do you feel like there's animosity between you guys, or is she, like you said, is she just an opponent? That's it.
She's just an opponent, you know. I don't know what to think of her, you know. I, you know, she said she wanted to be friends, so, you know, I'm still waiting for a proper introduction, you know. Like, hello, how's it going? You know, but obviously, you know, I kicked her in the face, so she doesn't want to be friends no more. So I don't know.
Oh my.
You know, I think I have nothing but respect for her. You know, I think I'm really grateful for her as an opponent. She gets me up in the morning. So, you know, I think just her, I even have a lot of respect for her for even taking this rematch and trying to face me again. And I know that she's going to come out with lots of fury and fiery, you know, motivation. So I appreciate that. And, you know, maybe we can still be friends one day. Who knows?
Live and direct from Moscow, Russia, the man who'll be headlining Bellator 269 this Saturday on Showtime from Moscow, the one and only Fyodor Emelianenko. There he is. Fyodor, spasiba. How are you, my friend?
Hello, my friend. I'm fine, thank you.
Wow. The English got so good. Are we doing this in English? No. Who are you being joined by? Who's the translator this time?
Tatiana. You know.
Oh, the legend. Oh my God. This is so great. Why are you so shy? Let me just say this. I would love to sit here once and for all and say to Brendan and the entire team over there, at Thick Boy Studios, 3Cs. I would love to sit here and say, I accept your apology. I would love to sit here and say, thank you for going on the air and saying sorry for the lies about 199, for the lies about being hard to work with, for the lies about the Jake Paul fight, for the lies about ESPN. I would love to sit here and say, I accept your apology. The problem is, I didn't hear an apology. I actually did not hear an apology. I didn't hear, hey man, I'm sorry. That was my bad. Now, am I going to be an a-hole and sit here and demand? No. We're moving on. We are moving on. We got a 20-minute, somewhat sincere, long, at times genuine, at times nonsensical, at times confusing, at times repetitive recap of the past month or so. And so I will accept whatever that was. It was not an apology. It was not a correcting of the record. But I don't want to keep doing this every week because I'm sure you're getting tired of it. Maybe you're not. I am. I see you guys loving it. You love every second of it. I am not going to say I accept the apology because one never came. But I will say this, because he was quite open with what happened recently. So I will be as well. After the show, when I left, as I was signing off, I got the text saying, I'll call you in 15 minutes. The text was from him. Maybe he knew that I called him. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. Called about 30 or so minutes later, and we did have a conversation. And at the very beginning of that conversation, I said, hey, I just want to let you know the missed call was from me on the show. I called you on the show because you said, and I said this all, and I didn't know if he was recording it or not, but I'll back everything up. I said, I heard you say I didn't have the balls to say any of this to you, and so I wanted to call you in the quickest way possible and let you know that I do have the balls to say anything that I would say on this air about anyone to anyone. He claimed that he didn't know that I did that on the air, and that's fine. And we did have, I thought, a pretty pleasant conversation for about, 15, 20 minutes about the last few months, or a couple months or a month or so. And the basic gist of it all was, how does this end? And I said, look, I'm not looking to prolong anything. I don't want to come across as a bully. I just want what I initially said at the very beginning was an apology, a correcting of the record. 199, ESPN, working with people, Jake Paul. That's it. And so we came to an agreement that that would happen. And I said very clearly, I don't need a whole long drawn out thing. This could be over in 45 seconds. Hey man, I messed up. We're cool, respect, you do your thing, I do my thing, that's it. 45, 30, 60 seconds tops. I didn't need 10 minutes, I didn't need 15, I didn't need 20. I thought you can be done with this at the top of the show, at the bottom of the show, middle of the show, before an ad break, after an ad break, get it over with and move on. In the end, what we got was, this whole long thing, a bunch of statements that he didn't hear this and didn't know this and didn't hear that, which I still don't buy. One statement that kind of irked me was, hey, why don't you come out and actually explain what happened at 199? I probably have retold the story of UFC 199 and what happened there, at least at this point, 4,000 times. But I hope the lesson now is that if you are going to come after me, and I don't care if it's a current UFC fighter spreading lies about me, like a Gilbert Burns. I don't care if it's a current UFC fighter spreading lies or misrepresenting or pretending to be innocent about a situation that you know very well the truth, like Bilal Muhammad, or if it's a manager spreading lies, spreading misinformation like Ali Abdelaziz, or if it's a retired fighter like Brendan Schaub spreading lies, spreading misinformation, if it's a cover boy of an erotic novel in the back of the bodega, 99 cents, spreading lies, spreading information, let the record show that I will respond now. And that's it. I will never respond first. I will never come out first and start a war, start a fight. I think there are a lot of people who like and respect me, and I think a lot of people would back that up, and I think the people that come on the show would back that up. But I hope it is now very clear that if anyone is going to try to get over on me, once and for all, those days are done. Helwani here to stay. I got the endorsement of the champ, Thug Nose, here to stay, and that's that. And so I am officially moving on. I appreciate the support. I appreciate everyone at PF Chang's who has had my back. This is not me trying to separate myself from you guys. I never even knew about the Reddit page before all of this, the subreddit. People told me afterwards. I was not aware. I'm not that guy. I don't really go on Reddit and stuff like that, not because I don't like it. I'm not good with that stuff. I have some friends who show me things here or there, and I'm not doing the whole bit that I don't go on social. Trust me, I'm on social media way too much. I'm on YouTube way too much. I just didn't know about it. I'm sorry. I didn't know. It's an incredible thing. I just didn't know about it. This is not me separating. You guys are prolific. Much love. I never want to get on your bad side. I appreciate the support and the love. If you want to take off the CEO cap, that's great. My point is, I can't keep doing this because I'm never going to truly get that apology. I'll never get the mea culpa. I'll never get the I'm sorry. But what I got a couple of days ago, ultimately, is I think the best that I'm going to get. And I don't want to make a grown man cry. I don't want to make a grown man sad. I don't want to make him upset. And let's just move on. I remember us being at an event and you pull your eye out and you're like, look at this. And you don't tell anyone, don't tell anyone. Now you're pulling it out like for free in front of your YouTube audience. Why is that, Mike? Why do you, oh geez, now you just.
Well, it's not because I'm trying to bring attention to it. It's because I've come to terms with it. you know, and for the longest time, because I was still, I've only had this lens, by the way, for when I did Hyperdrive on Netflix. Check that out if you haven't seen it, by the way. 2018, I think that was. Yeah, 2018, I got this lens. Prior to that, I had these corrective lenses that I would wear, and it had like a fake pupil on it, and it would sit in the middle, but it would always drift into the middle. So when I was at Fox Sports, I always had like a compact, a makeup compact. Anytime I went to commercial break, I'd pull it out, and I was always putting it back in the middle, you know, because I was still fighting, you know, and I didn't want to draw attention to it. And then people would make comments and I'd be ultra sensitive to it. I was very self-conscious about it. Obviously, I've transitioned. I'm very lucky to working in TV and a little bit of film here and there. And I used to go for auditions, and I'd be so self-conscious. You know, in the audition, I'm just thinking about my eye. Is the fake lens in the middle and things like that. You know, but over time, you know, you learn to live with this. And then certainly getting this lens, that was a godsend. You know, it cost me $3,500, the best money I ever spent. This office by my house, they hand painted to match the other eye exactly. Wow. I've got to get another one done because my eyeball's shrinking, so it doesn't move quite as well. And yeah, I've just come to terms with it now. You know, I've come to accept it, and you know, it's part of my story. It's part of who I am. You know, and walking around like this used to cause me great discomfort. You know, I could feel whenever I would talk to someone, they weren't looking at me, they were just looking at my eye. Do you know what I mean? And they weren't listening to what I said. And it's not all woe is me, but still you have these insecurities, you know, and certainly when you're still trying to fight, and then this is a career-ending injury, you know, it brings a lot of complications and difficulties and things like that. So, but yeah, it's a thing of the past now, and it's part of my story.
My coach, Big Jim, said something to me when I was young. And I was broke and I had $5 in my bank account. And I was like, Big Jim, I have no money, blah, blah, blah. I'm crying. I'm desperate. He said, if you want money, win and the money will come. And he's right. All I have to do is win and the rest will take care of itself.
Has it been hard to focus on the fight when, you know, people like me and everyone talking about the contract?
No, because for me, I've been training my whole life for these moments. I've been training my whole life for one day over and over and over again. And the job's not done yet. You know, Taylor is standing across the cage from me in a couple of days' time, and she's going to come in there and bring it all. She's going to leave her heart inside that cage. She's got nothing to lose. So my mind has been focused. I've been training hard. I feel good. I feel ready. You see that? Nice. I'm already on weight. I'm ready.
So, I popped for Adderall in my last fight. I didn't apply for the TUE like I should have. I spoke with Novinsky a couple months before the fight when I actually was taking the drugs. You know, told him it was from a doctor and all. He told me to apply for the TUE, and I thought that I wouldn't need to because I would get off of it soon enough for the fight. But I guess I still had a small amount of it in my system left.
So had you applied for it, none of this would have come out? It wouldn't have been an issue at all?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been an issue. But, you know, I got a little arrogant in it. You know, I thought that I would be fine without it and that it just would get out of my system like much faster. But I think with not cutting as much weight and it was just I should have applied for the TUE. That I still kind of kick myself in the ass over it because it's a legit prescription. It's a legit diagnosis. And I think I just went about it in an unprofessional way to get that done.
I didn't think about doing MMA till I heard Amanda Nunes say she had choked the shit out of me. When she said that it lit a different fire in me. Like I've had girls say stuff about me in boxing, but it was like when Amanda Nunes said it, it was like, not only did she say it, but she could actually do it. And I just was like, she said she had choked the shit out of me. Like she said she'd never get in the boxing ring with me, but she had choked me. And I just was like, at the point where I am and the stuff that I know, and as tough as I am, I could still get in there with her and she would still be able to choke me. And that didn't make me feel good. So that's why I'm like, you know what? She's a big part of my motivation in becoming a full mixed martial artist, like learning everything, being a complete MMA fighter, not just relying on just boxing, but learning everything. She's a huge part of that because I actually like the way that she fight, and I wanted to fight against her in boxing, but it's like now I would like to get good enough to where I could, grace the cage with her and me and her can fight and I can see if she gonna choke me.
I'm an island boy, put my vest on. I mean, it's just catchy as all hell, right? I mean, it's phenomenal stuff. So I threw out the offer. I mean, look at those guys. The tattoo, I'm going to get one right here. Tattoo, line this up right here, get the freaking dreads pointing out. I mean, to the youth of America, if you are watching this, these are the people that you should be looking up to, not me. Okay, I mean, that's the epitome of cool. Backdoor, guess who comes in? The one that, if we're being honest, GC said was not going to do it. Virna Jandiroba comes in through the back door, and we might have a winner here, my friends, because her great manager, Thiago Okamura, sent a video to my good friend Guilherme Cruz. I have then confirmed the authenticity of said video. And here, my friends, is a video of Virna Jandiroba, who is fighting this weekend at UFC 267 in Abu Dhabi, preparing for her walkout while listening to a remix of Island Boy. Look at Virna go. When it's over, like when the music stops, it's a hard thing to deal with, and there's no one there to kind of help you out. Is that part of what is motivating you here to get those fighters involved in something like this?
Well, yeah, but there's more to it than that. It's even more complex than that. That's like on the surface is that, but to go down to the deeper issue is people that do this are a select certain amount of people.
Yeah,
they're not everyday normal people. Meaning what? They're warriors. Not that they're warriors just now. They've been warriors forever. Like their other lives or whatever you want to, like that warrior is in them forever. And yeah, when the music stops and you can't be a warrior like you could be anymore, then it's hard. It's hard because you still have that fire inside. And it's not a normal fire like everyone else. It burns much more hotter, right?
Uh-huh. So
you need an outlet that is much more that you can learn from, get so much more out of it. It takes like a mental, like rejuvenation, like to know that when I was fighting, those big wins did so much for me, right? And that's what it does for everyone. But there are wins in the gym. There are wins in like a sparring, there's wins in a certain position in the gym that you win. So what I've learned is those little victories in here translate to little victories out there, right? And what is that? That's you with your kids, you with your family. That's little victories when you're just out, like putting gas in and you have a connection with someone, like you just make him feel good. Like, hey, what's up? Like, make him feel good. Like give them time, like they are you. Getting those little victories every day is what makes it. Not those big ones, because we only get a few of those here and there. But those little ones all add up. So I got the opportunity last year to go ahead and try some of these psychedelics. And I believe like my life path has like led me here to do this. So a year before that, before I did that, I had my mom pass away, my brother passed away within like a month or 2 months of each other. But my brother, the way he passed away was much more like traumatic for me, for my wife, because it started at home and we saw all of it. So, and I couldn't be there for him. No one could be there for him at that moment. And I didn't realize like all the shit that was happening. I didn't realize that this would be the last, right? Like all of that, so a year goes by, we're living through this and we're just trying to, make it work and be there for our kids and for each other. And, we're still hurt. So then I got the opportunity to go try these from a friend of mine who told me about, he told me like what this was. And that's kind of all I needed to hear. It happened on the anniversary of his death. So that's when I went to go try these. And I didn't know what I was looking for or if I was looking for anything. But I really just focused on my brother, my mom at the time. When I first I tried ayahuasca, and the only thing that was between us that lasted, that was there, was love. Like between me, my mom, between me, my brother, it was just love. Like we just fucking love each other, and now that was still there, and that's always been there, and that's the strongest emotion out of anything. Like I lost my brother in the way that we lost him, but that love that was still there is still there. And that's all that mattered. Like that made me heal so much. Like just that was there, that I know he is okay, that we did love each other and we still do. And that, so it was more of just more of a healing, from that, because I really don't know where I'd be if I didn't get an outlet for that.
I feel like I sell the pay-per-view, but I don't get any points anymore. But I'm not complaining, I'm not the champ anymore, but I feel like I deserve a little bit more. But I will discuss this at the table with Dana, with matchmakers. I feel good, I want to be back to the UFC octagon soon.
When's the last time you spoke to Dana?
3 weeks ago. We exchanged some messages. And so that's why I was a little bit surprised after mixed messages, phone calls to Jennifer Goldstein, my manager, and then Lambert. But that's fine, I love Mick. I really like him, and I understand him. They have to pull me out of the rankings. But people make such a big thing about it. But I'm calm. I do not worry about. There's nothing to worry about because I will be back in the ranking, and even if they put me in the, if I'm going to be the last, doesn't matter to me because my next fight is going to be big because, like I said, they have to use me. They want to use me. They know how to use me. My name.
I think everyone who fights for a belt, whether champion or challenger, it takes two to sell a fight. Sometimes the challenger is more popular than the champion, right? When Conor fought Aldo, you know what I mean? Or when Chael...
Volkanovski and Ortega, I love Volkanovski, and he's the right person to be the UFC champion. But Ortega is he's the name as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he deserves.
As well.
If you make it to a title fight, in my opinion, if you've earned that spot, you deserve a piece of the pie because you're selling it just as much as the champion.
Sooner or later, it's going to happen. I hope. I wish.
Okay.
For the second generation.
Yes. Could I be rude and ask you to move your hand? What's it look like? Oh, that's not so bad. It's not so bad.
It's a lot better. It's a lot better than it was. Oh my God. It was, this eye was shut, but I've been putting ice on it all day, every day. So no, it's pretty good actually. So
how many stitches?
I just start.
No, that's cool, 6. Man. 6? That's not so bad. Does it hurt?
Yes, sir. No, nothing.
Nothing.
Good.
Is it true? I read this story that your phone didn't recognize you. Is that true?
Do I really have to answer that?
Listen, you're a legend.
It was the worst.
Really?
It was the worst. I was but of course people make jokes. So after the fight, I did the press conference, the post-fight press conference. So Rico, to make fun of me, does your phone face recognition still work?
Oh my God.
Well, I don't know, but let me try. Well, it didn't. That was perfect for that moment. It was perfect. I was like, come on, you gotta work. You gotta work. I was trying to put it on the good side, but no, it didn't want to work. So
MMA is fucking dumb. MMA is dumb. I mean, I love the UFC. I love my job, but what we do is fucking retarded. There's no mental math you can do in your head to make MMA sound cool. It's you get locked in a fucking cage and you say, hey, try to kill this fucking guy. Meanwhile, people get rich off of it. It's MMA is purely retarded, but I fucking love it. It's funny, you ever seen American History X?
Yes.
So people always ask me, like, when I was a kid, who did I want to be? And like, that's who I wanted to be, was one of those guys. Like, that's like, I thought they were so fucking cool, man. Like, I love the life they live, just like dirty white trash. They had respect, you know? Yeah. So it's funny, when I was a kid, that was like that was something like I would hero worship, you know, like that ideology. And again, I had no idea what the fuck it meant. I didn't fucking, I'm in elementary school. I'm in 7th grade. Like, I don't know what the fuck that means. But, and then I started training. And like, the moment I started training, like, I was like, fuck, man. Like, I don't hate anybody. Like, I don't fuck, everyone's cool. And then and a lot of things too, like a lot of people who helped me out in my life, they weren't white. Like, usually like white people in my life were kind of fucking dicks, you know? Like, a lot of like ethnic people were the ones that kind of held their hand out. Like, which is nuts, because like me, I'm a little fucking neo-Nazi Hitler youth, and yet the people who are helping me out, they're not even fucking white. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That was kind of like a weird thing to deal with, where like, and you also feel shame now. Now you feel shame because like your entire life you've been like spouting off this rhetoric again on being a kid, and next thing you know, the people that are helping you out, they're not even fucking white. So it's like also another shameful thing that you have to like come to terms with. Like, my entire life I hated you just because you're colored. And now you're the one fucking helping me out. You know, it's fucking, life is strange.
Do you still believe in those Nazi ideologies?
No, of course not. No, it's fucking retarded.
And so never say that I am not a man of my word, because here we have, thank you to Alex for printing this up, Virna Jandiroba's face on a beautiful framed little thingy here. Look at this. Printed out. Look at that. Virna Jandiroba. And so without further ado, thank you for the beautiful music, Frank. It is time to immortalize Virna Jandiroba. Yes, she lost a very close fight to Amanda Ribas, but if you ask me, there were no losers that night. Amanda Ribas won the fight. Virna Jandiroba gets immortalized. And so without further ado, I will go over here. I will take off my headset and I will put Virna Jandiroba up on the wall with the gods of MMA right here. How does that look? I mean, how does that look?
We're just going to need you to repeat what you said when you were over there.
No, I will not repeat what I said. In fact, what I said was, never say that I don't live up to my word. Virna Jandiroba. Get another shot of it, Tucker. Go ahead. There it is. Look at that. Forever immortalized. She will never be forgotten.
As soon as the fight was over, I am now in my spot at the broadcast. I've finished commentating the fight. I'm taking my headset off so I can turn around and face the camera to interview Trinaldo, because this was the social distancing interviews and stuff. So I'm still behind my desk. As I'm standing up, I noticed that Herb Dean's walking out the cage and coming over to me. And Herb doesn't move particularly quick, and he was moving quick. He was walking at my desk with a pace. So what do I'm not going to turn my back on him, of course. So I take my headset off and I mute it so you can't hear what's going on the broadcast, right? And he said, and we had a back and forth conversation, you know. I don't remember exactly what was said, but it was, you know, did you shout something at me? I said, yes, I did. That's the second time that there was, you know, 2 times, blah, blah, blah. You know, and he said, you let me do my job and you do yours. And I said, you need to do your job. I can't remember exactly what I said, but you remember the exchange. Anyway, he walked away. I turned around, put my headset on and did the interview with Trinaldo. But then the whole story got turned around somehow. Even when I got backstage, the producer came at me out of the truck and was yelling at me because I'd gone over to confront him. I never did. I stayed at my desk. And when I spoke to the UFC about it afterwards, their advice to me was, in that moment, you should have turned your back. And as a martial artist, I could never do that. I can see this guy coming at me with a pace. I'm going to stand and be ready. Like, he was leaning over my desk. So maybe in hindsight, if I'd have complained about that, I might have found myself in a more protected position. But my main focus is the fighters getting protection. And he's still present at regular events and still making mistakes consistently. He still waves the fight off at the end of the round. He still doesn't exactly know what he's doing. it concerns me. It really does, because at some point our sport is going to be negatively affected by someone not doing their job.
Oh, by the way, Peter, by the way, you want to say anything to Aljo? He's coming on. You want to say anything to him? He's up in an hour. You want to send him a message?
Сейчас после тебя Стерлинг будет давать интервью. Хочешь ему пару слов сказать?
Ариэль, этот чикан в бане конкретно просто ни грамма, просто побью его, уничтожу его.
You know, I will just beat this chicken up and I will destroy him. Nothing to say.
Okay. His last fight was against you. This was his first fight since. Do you think he got better? Were you impressed with him?
To say he got better, I think that's kind of hard to say. I mean, what are we measuring that against? His fight against me? I mean,
yeah.
If that's what we're comparing it to, I mean, you could say that with the fight against Aldo, maybe, but it's kind of the same exact thing happening. He kind of started to fade a little bit. But the difference was Corey was able to go 5 rounds. I went 88 seconds with Corey. I think the proof, I mean, you can't do MMA math. Don't get me wrong. I'm not doing MMA math, but I'm just saying when I'm on, I'm a very dangerous guy to beat. And that's what makes me feel good about this fight. So yeah, Pidion probably got better. Maybe he got physically stronger or faster, but he still missed just as much. He still swings the hard shots he does just as well. He still plots the way he plots. The only adjustments I think he really did really good coming from that first round to the rest of the fight was he started to attack the body with those free body kicks that Sandhagen was giving up. He took the free leg kicks. And I know Sandhagen in the fight with TJ was saying that the leg kicks didn't hurt. But, they score, they do damage, and they add up. They accumulate. It's a fist fight. It's just like a energy bar meter. You can't just keep taking those shots for free. So he wasn't giving them anything to think about. And I think that's what Pidion did very, very well. And I love the highlight that he did, hitting him with a spinning wheel kick at the end of the fight, which I thought was very it was the irony in that, hitting him with the spinning wheel kick at the end to kind of put an exclamation point. I think that kind of burned Corey a little bit, where he was like, I got to hit this guy back. I got to get my hands back on this guy for trying to disrespect me like that. You know what I mean? So I'm feeling good, Ariel. I'm feeling like an island boy. I'm gonna keep on going because I'm an island boy.
You are a legit island boy. So it seems like maybe February, March, it's conceivable that this happens.
I don't want to wait till March.
Okay.
If I could fight this guy tomorrow, I would. But I mean, obviously, it doesn't work like that. I have to really make sure I get myself prepared for 5 rounds again, which is not easy. You can't do that overnight. But I'm just eager. I'm just eager to get back out there, And now I'm more eager to see what I finally got questions answered about Pidion's abilities and his skills. He's the real deal. I just think I'm better. I truly do just think I'm better than him still. And I think January or February, I think whatever happens, they might do a 3rd title fight on that card. Or if they have other obligations, they might push it to February. Hopefully not March. That would just be, I just would not want to wait a year, another year layoff. I had my wrist surgery after beating Pedro Munoz, and I had to wait to come back to fight Corey. Just that time period, it's just lost time. I'm not getting younger. I need to make as much money as I can while I can in my prime, use this vessel as best as I can. And that's the name of the game. Get out while you still can, and while you still have your brain and your health intact. Yeah. Fuck TJ. Let TJ wait. That bitch ass motherfucker could wait. Just like that. That guy's a fucking cheater. He had a close fight. A lot of people still don't even think he won the fight by hugging another man by the waist. At least I actually go for submissions. I think there's people that deserve to unify the belts that have the belts, right? Am I crazy? How do you not unify the belts to try to, that makes no sense. Let TJ wait. And it's not my fault he got his knee ripped off in that fight with Sandhagen, that's on him. So it is what it is. He's got to wait, just like everybody else has to wait their turn. He waited 2 years already, right? He could wait another couple months.
That's the strange thing about this virus. All I can tell you is that I'm very full of safety and protocol. I talk about it on my podcast all the time. I'm probably, if there's an example of somebody who's as careful as could possibly be not to infect my family and everything else, it's me. But the week before I got the virus, which I tested positive on Thursday. I started feeling sick on a Wednesday. The previous weekend, I flew to Vegas. I was at a UFC. Then I appeared for the Raiders the next day. If you notice, when you watch me on the UFC, I walk into the octagon, I have my mask on. I strictly follow mask protocol because I believe in it. I'm vaccinated. I believe in that too. And then all I can say is that, sorry about that.
No problem.
all I can say is that maybe during that weekend, the best I can think about, I mean, could it be that I went and played blackjack for a little bit, touched the chips? Could it happen there? Could it have happened at the UFC? Just being around,
Sure.
some of the people there, although we were at the Apex. Could have happened at the Raider game when I took my mask off to, announce in front of 70,000+ people with the people up there on the dais that I announced from. And then I went to the suite afterwards and I spent time with Chris Angel, the magician, and a number of people. And strangely enough, 5 days after I got it, Chris Angel came down with it.
Oh no.
So where's the common denominator? I mean, could we have been around somebody there? Then my friend who was with me that weekend, she did not get it. And she was at the Raider game with me. So, but she wasn't at the UFC with me. So try to figure it out.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
I don't know what this would have been had I not had for me, I took the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, right? I don't know how bad it would have gotten had I not had the vaccine. The vaccine is not armor to avoid getting it, but it's armor to avoid going in the hospital.
Sure.
And my gardener died from it.
No way.
I have 6 degrees. Oh yeah. I have 6 degrees of separation from at least a half dozen people that have died from it. Numerous people in respirators in the hospital, from Chuck Zito to you name it, that are all buddies of mine. It's no joke.
Okay. And are you impressed with him? Like, do you feel like he was going to test you? Do you feel like this is 15 minutes? No, you don't feel that way?
He's definitely going to test me.
Okay.
He's 100% going to test me. I don't know if it's going to go 15 minutes, but he's definitely going to test me. He's going to push me in, and he's going to make me shine. So he's going to make me shine. He's going to be I'm the diamond. He's just going to polish me. So he's the dance partner I need in here on a Friday night to show the world that I'm great.
No one expects more out of me than me. No one. I will always. If Conor won his UFC debut in 1 minute and 7 seconds, I want to try beat that.
Okay.
Like that's the person I am. I want to go out there and try beat that for no other reason than, all right, I can.
Yeah.
Why not?
Right.
But I don't feel pressure. Like, it's not like, oh, I've got to do this. I just want to enjoy every second of the fight. But like, I'm going in there with an attitude of, there's nothing he can do to beat me. And there isn't. Like, what's he going to do? Try to take me down? Not going to happen. He's going to try to beat me on the feet. If you think you can do that, good luck. I have an undeniable self-confidence, but it's not from nowhere. You've seen my fights. You've seen, like, when have you seen me hit clean? Like, I mean, like, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, and it won't happen. So people have to, like, that lucky shot doesn't exist. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to show people how good I am at what I do. And they're just going to see it. And I want it to be, like, it's a beautiful violence. And I love what I do. And I want it to transfer it to people. I want people to see it. I feel like that dream of being like Conor McGregor, of like everyone going, oh, this is amazing. I'm literally following the same footsteps that he's laid out. And I'm enjoying it, because I remember being a kid going, oh, that looks unbelievable. I wish I could be like that. And I just made it possible. And
did you watch his MSG fight against Eddie Alvarez? Like, do you remember watching it?
One of the best displays you've ever seen in the octagon.
Where were you when you watched it?
I was at a friend's house.
And it was like early in the morning, right?
Early
it was
in the
like
morning,
probably 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
Insane. Yeah, I remember we ordered pizza. We were sitting around waiting for it, so excited. And it was just, I was at my best friend's house.
That is wild.
Yeah, and now I was on the phone to him there the other day. I was voice messaging him, and he was like, dude, it's pretty crazy to think that, like I remember walking around Alicante looking for a lock-in bar, because it was a different time in Spain, to watch him, what was meant to be the first Aldo fight, but changed to Chad Mendes. Yeah. I remember finding a lock-in bar with him and my other best mate, knocking on the door, going, let me in. How much do I have to pay to let me in? He's like, I was like, I will pay you. I need to see this fight. And he's like, come on in. And I remember it was just insane. And I hope people get that experience from my career.
A man who I considered a very close friend, a confidant, if you will, a mentor, a partner in crime, has stabbed me in the back. He's currently parading around New York City, literally minutes away from where we are doing the show live right now, beamed across the world, and had promised me that he would come in studio to break bread with me and talk to me man-to-man, tete-a-tete, to have a reunion live on the air. Of course, I'm talking about that Benedict Arnold, Daniel Cormier. He is here parading around town and would not grace us with his presence in studio. Now, I think there are other reasons as to why he isn't doing it, but I should feel some sort of way about this. I essentially made this man famous. I jump-started his career, right? I jump-started his broadcasting career, and he's nowhere to be found. And so I'm going to do this with you on Zoom right now. My new best friend, Patrick McAfee. I'm going to do this. I have bestowed the honor of having Daniel Cormier above my right shoulder in this new iteration of the MMA Hour. Please go to this camera right here, camera 1. I would like to now unceremoniously remove the Daniel Cormier picture above my right shoulder.
No!
I am removing the Daniel Cormier picture. This picture is no more. Daniel?
No!
That's it. I gave him the old crotch chop DX style. He's dead to me. Dead to me, Daniel. You have an hour to show up here. And if you don't show up to me, it's going to be Patrick McAfee on Monday above my right shoulder. That's what it's going to be.
No, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there.
You're going to be above my right shoulder on Monday.
No, I don't want to be there. I don't deserve to be there. No,
Why?
I don't deserve to be there.
You're my guy. You show up. You freaking jabro. This is the MMA Hour. This is the show of show. This is the show of record. This is the show that no one wants to acknowledge as the number one show in sports and entertainment. But we all know if you just look at the numbers and you look at the guests and you look at the names, you look at the viewership, you look at the downloads.
Thug knows. Hey, listen, I'm happy you're on Fox Media. This just started, like a week and a half ago, though. You're already ESPN.
I would slap you in the face if we were in person, you talking about us like that. We've been here since 2009, my friend. 2009, we've been doing this. Before it was cool, before everyone had a podcast, before everyone was streaming. We were here first.
I didn't know you went live. I didn't know you went live on Mondays and Wednesdays since 2009.
Not Wednesdays.
You've done that?
Not Wednesdays. Mondays. All right. So here, we could do this the easy way or the hard way. We're coming for you now. You have a head start. But just like WCW.
2009, you have the head start. What are you talking about?
No.
I just came in 2 years ago.
Listen,
You've been doing this for 12 years.
We took a detour. We went to chase some other dreams. We went corporate for a second, all right? We had to have a little dance with Mickey Mouse. But now we're back where we belong. Independent Helwani, a force to be reckoned with. You know this. Everyone knows this.
You can't be the underdog and the elder statesman, dude.
Why not? Why not? Everyone thinks that the elder statesman needs to be, taken out the pasture. He's old. He's washed up. He doesn't have it anymore. And here's this hotshot former player with a $50 million cushion, a head start, checks from the Ursay family. I mean, you've got checks up the wazoo. You've got private planes up the wazoo. I'm just a guy trying to live out his dream with a family of 3 in suburbia. That's it.
No. Listen, I understand.
5, 2 kids.
I understand this. Yeah, it's crazy. You forgot about at least 2 or the wife. I don't know who's going to be more. I don't know who's going to be more mad there.
I want to read you this tweet. He wrote to me, ask Yuri why he is ducking to fight for the number 1 contender when he got offered the fight 2 days ago. Samurai, this is what he writes, samurai my ass, and I am the one who's declining to fight. I don't think so. The time will come, this is what he writes, when I cut that ugly Czech flag shit off his head. That's what he said. That's what he wrote on Twitter. What do you think of this message from Alexander?
I'm a little bit disappointed from that. And because my coach, he showed me that tweet before 10 minutes before.
Okay.
And that's man, this is so unrespectful, and that's bad. And the first information that the UFC confirmed that UFC offer him that fight. That's not true.
Not true.
That's not true.
Now, could you tell us what you're doing here, Yuri? You won't be able to see the clip, I don't think. But if we can just pull this up, it's you outside hitting a tree that has padding on it. Do we have this clip, guys?
Yeah.
We have the clip. There you are. Let's run this clip. You're beating up a tree, Yuri, and it seems like you put padding there to protect the tree because you're beating it up. Why do you do this?
Why? Because it's helpful for me to be in. It's good for the body to be in the technique, to be like a rock, then I can go through the opponent bodies with my technique, and my technique can be more dangerous, and it's a good training for the body. Yeah.
Do you do this often?
Yeah, every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Why don't you hit a heavy bag instead? It might feel a little bit better for your hands.
Yes, I have next to this tree, I have a bag.
Okay.
I'm changing that, and after some 500 punches, after the 500 punches 500 to the tree, 500 to the tree. Then I go to the back, and the back is the bag is very, very easy. Believe me.
What kind of gloves are you wearing when you punch the tree 500 times? MMA gloves?
Yeah, sure. The UFC gloves. Yeah.
What? 500 times a day?
Yeah. Yeah.
No breaks?
No breaks.
Without further ado, I'm just gonna turn this around and we'll go back to normal, okay? Here it is. Kablam! There it is! Patrick McAfee, now immortalized on the wall. You never disrespect Helwani in his hometown, his adopted hometown. You say you want to come hang, you come hang. You say you want to visit, you come visit. And you know who was there when I needed him most? It was that man, Patrick McAfee, there with a shoulder to cry on. Cut the music, Frankie. Cut the music. I'm cutting a promo here. This man was there when I needed him in a time of need. And not only that, he put me after Aaron Rodgers on Friday, one of the biggest spots of my career. And I gave America a bit of a palate cleanse, if you will. I gave them something to laugh about after that atrocity of an interview. And so here we are, Patrick and I, immortalized forever. And I hope that sound you hear all the way across the country, the nation, in Gilroy, California, a fantastic little town, by the way, the garlic capital of the world. I hope that sound you hear is Daniel Cormier weeping. DC, get your shit together. I'm waiting for you. Come apologize, or it's me and Patrick riding two tandems into the night. That's right. Yeah.
When they announced me for that performance bonus, I think that's like what I actually gave. You know, I came out, I danced, you know what I mean? We're in New York. I came out to the original Harlem Shake, you know, by Puff Daddy, who was on Puff Daddy, G-Dep, all them dudes on that, you know what I mean, on that track, you know. So I gave that aspect, you know. And then in like it took a couple people to tell me, hey, Chris, that was your first UFC win, but you gave that moment to that guy. Wow. You know what I mean? That was amazing. You know what I mean? So I think that played a huge part in it of me just being who I am. Like, to me, Gain he's an awesome person, man. Like, and so for him to, yeah, we fought, you know what I mean? It happened, but I didn't want that to be the end of his story. You know, I wanted him to say what he needed to say, give out his actual emotions, his feelings, you know, to New York, you know what I mean? That was his home. So, I think it's more or less people can relate to just me being real. Like I'm a human, you know what I mean? I relate to other humans. I'm not no superstar. I'm nothing. Like at the end of the day, I'm nothing yet. You know, I like to put the yet on there, but where I relate to the people is that I am the people at the end of the day, dude. And I understand that these people pay hard-earned money to watch us and do what we're doing. And my man was on his last fight. Why not give that to him? To me, this is just the beginning. So I'm okay with giving up that spotlight because I know there's going to be a next for me.
But the whole crowd, when I said, we're not here to take part, everybody screamed, we're here to take at the same time. And that was why, like, when I said, this is the takeover part 2, all they can hear is, yeah, everyone's screaming. So it was very, very cool. It was a surreal experience, and it was something that I'm never going to forget.
Like, I almost felt, correct me if I'm wrong, I felt like you slowed down right as you were about to deliver that line. Like, you knew you had to nail it, because that clip is going to be replayed a gazillion times. You don't want to stumble there, and you freaking nailed it. 10 on 10.
Take a little break. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. I told you I can talk the talk and walk the walk.
Yes, yeah, I know.
Just got to take my time sometimes. It was just, I wanted it to have, like, again, I didn't plan it. I just knew that I wanted it to, I didn't want to rush it. I wanted it to, people to feel it and understand what I'm saying. Like, this is the takeover part 2.
Have they said you win on Saturday, you're getting a title shot? I feel like it's a stupid question, but has that been said to you or your team?
I mean, yeah, you know, I would, you know, I got 5 title defensives, you know, and I would like that 6. But, you know, with possible fights and stuff, there are bigger fights that UFC discussed us with, you know?
Oh.
You know, I got to win over the 155 champ right now. You know, we're always on the short list for Conor. You know, we was on that, like I said, the last that before we got injured, we was one of the replacement fighters, you know. And then I'm the best boxer in the UFC, you know. So use your imagination, my friends. You know that it's a wild world today.
Wow. Wait a second. Max, I feel like you dropped a couple of seeds on us there. So are you saying that are those more interesting to you than the featherweight title at this point?
Oh, we see what happens. You know, we see what happens. Like I said, this, use the imagination, man.
Okay.
We live in a wild time right now, and I'm super excited for the future, to say the least.
It's got to be Carla next, right? I mean, this has to happen, correct? This is what you want, I would imagine, no?
I would like to. Yeah, I would like to. I don't see what anything else makes sense.
Who's the real champion in your opinion?
Peter Yan.
Yeah.
Like, I always get aggressive when I talk shit about Aljamain, and usually because I just don't like he always say something about me, like either negative that I'm not that good or blah blah blah. I'm like, don't just talk about me. Like, you know, I if you're gonna be that guy, when you see me, don't even pay me attention. But don't see me and be like, hi fellas.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. Like, I wanna fight you right now. I wanna in the street, in the corner. Like, if you see me, just keep the same energy. Just keep walking and I keep walking. But like, I don't get that, like, I'm gonna show you I'm a little tougher or whatever. I respect Peter Yan. The guy is solid. You know, he's not trying to be cool. He's fucking just fight. I like to fight. I'm sure we all can talk shit, but keep it real.
What is it like being friends with Sean? I mean, no, I mean, he's talking about wanting to kill people today. Like, I was like, wow, they let him in MSG? I'm afraid for everyone in the arena. I mean, he seems like a nice guy when you're talking to him, but then he's like so nonchalant about these really, really different thoughts, and I'm putting it mildly. What's it like being his friend?
So I laugh. I always say I've been Sean Strickland's only friend for like 5 years. Like, we met like 5 years ago out at Team Quest in Temecula, California. So I've known Sean since those days. And I always laugh and say that I've been Sean's only friend for 5 years. It's just, Sean and I have lived together, we train together. Like, so the thing is, like, what you see with Sean, like what he shows you is exactly how he is. Like, it's not an act. It's not turned up.
I was hoping for the opposite. I was hoping you'd say.
No, this is just what he says. Like, he's the opposite of Colby, where Colby's like, you know, a calm dude and he's like putting on an act. This is just how Sean is. Like, Sean will walk into a room and was like, I'm here to sodomize all of you. And you're like, Sean, you can't, like, this is why you don't have training partners. You can't walk into a room. And then now it's like, oh, you know, the meal of the day is sodomy. Like, bro, you can't do it. That's not a thing. But at the same time, man, he's just the most honest dude you'll ever run into. Where what he feels, he says. And I think as a society, we're kind of not used to people being that raw. Like, we tend to have more tact about how we approach things. And, you know, Sean's a caveman. Like, that dude, without fighting, he'd be in prison for sure. Because, like, that dude was made for a time that's long gone. Like, he should have been either a Viking or like on some medieval battlefield with an axe, like throwing, like, you know, trying to kill people. But he was born too late in history. So, like, fighting is the one thing that saved us from Sean, honestly. But
when people talk about Roxanne Modafferi in 15, 20 years, what do you want them to say about you? What do you want your legacy to be in this sport?
I would love for people to remember me as a martial artist, not like a brawler or a fighter, a martial artist who, you know, always does their best and, you know, is like the Power Ranger, fights the bad guys, like just does their best and is a good martial artist. That's what I'd like.
Dare I say a happy warrior?
A happy warrior.
If you ask me, I don't like to make plans for the future because you asked me a while ago
I'll be fighting at 42, I'll probably be saying no, you know.
Mm-hmm.
When I got in UFC at 32 years old, and I say to myself, it takes me a long time to get in UFC, you know, because I actually got call from those guys. I was in the mix, you know, and Joe Silva actually shake my hand and say, get your situation straightened out, you'll be fighting here the next day. And that was in 2006. You know, if you think about it, in 2012, I debuted in UFC. That's 6 years later. And then I told myself, like, hey, man, if I fight in UFC until I'm 40, that'd be great, you know? That'd be like a blast right there.
And now look.
I'm here, man, 42, at the top of the world. Don't make plans, man.
Right.
Just do the best that you can right now. You know, do with the focus, with discipline, and let the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, you know, give the reward back. You know.
So why didn't you go into MMA?
To be fair, I'm not a very good athlete. and so honestly, it wasn't even a thing when I got out of high school. And realistically, I'm not very competitive, which is why I do so well in pro wrestling. Like they tell me, I hate to break it to everybody, they tell me if I'm going to win or lose. You know what I mean? Which has actually served really well because I'm not competitive at all. So when they tell me I'm going to lose, it doesn't, okay, whatever. Some guys get upset by it. I'm not fazed by it at all. I like the performance and I like the physicality of it. There's things that are harder about pro wrestling than MMA, which most of it is like the schedule and that sort of thing. And that you don't really get time off unless you get really hurt. But I think the intensity of even like a fight camp, you know what I mean? Because I've trained with some of those guys in the middle of their fight camp and all that kind of stuff. I think the intensity is something that would be very difficult for me to handle now, and especially with my health history and all that kind of stuff. Although one of the things that I do love to do is I love rolling with guys who are training for fight camps that are ready to kill, right? You know what I mean? Like it's a fun game until it's not fun. Wrestling is kind of like a combat theater, right? If MMA is like if you're looking at martial arts, the very martial aspect of it, like very warlike and competitive. Pro wrestling's on the very artistic, much more on the artistic spectrum. But one of the things that I do think is that people watching, and they might not be able to identify it, can tell if something really looks like it hurts or if it doesn't look like it hurts. And if you're using real technique that like really manipulates joints and really like, hey, this is really how you would take somebody down, that sort of thing. I try to implement more of those things into my style, just because I think even though people can't mentally process why, they understand like, oh, that makes sense. I think one of the things that really helped me in WWE, despite being so much smaller than so many of the other WWE wrestlers, is that a lot of the stuff that I do, in theory, I could legitimately do to people. You know, people would believe me. Like I'd get my butt kicked for a long period of time, but then when it was time for me to come back, the stuff that I would do would be believable. And then, I mean, there's the theater aspects of it that you would never do a top rope drop kick in a fight. Although, you know, that one Anthony Pettis kick that lives on it for eternity. Like, you know, sometimes there's stuff like that where you're just like, maybe it would work.
Everybody wants to fight Conor because they know it's a big payday. I'm here in mixed martial arts to do big things, to be in big fights, big stages against big opponents in big arenas with a lot of eyeballs. That's what excites me about a fight with Conor. I got a ton of respect for Conor because what Conor has done, and people will discredit what he has done because of certain things that he has said, but what he has done is revolutionize the entire sport. The sport of mixed martial arts is better because Conor McGregor is in it. It's bigger and it's got more eyeballs on it because of what Conor has done. So to share the octagon with him, that's why I want to do it. It's not the payday. It's not the red panty night. It's not the thing that all these other fighters are chasing. Of course, do I want that? Do I want to provide for my family? Of course. But I want epic moments of maximum amounts of impact.
So when you see Gaethje and Chandler fight in a war like that, right? I mean, that's really, insanity. I mean, it's kind of an anomaly in a sense because not every fight is like that. But when you see that, you're is there a part of you that's like, I want that? Like, I could do that. I could be in a fight like that. Or are you of the mentality of like, oh, I want to do this, but I want to take someone down, choke them out, and then go home and not have a scratch on my face?
Yeah, I like the you know, I think I'm all about war. Like, I've never shied away from a headbutt or a knee to the face or blood or anything. You know, I've dealt with that in my sport. You know, I consider myself an Iron Man in my sport, but you know, they're in a different space. So, you know, I've wrestled those two guys, and I know for a fact that when I wrestled them, they were different than a lot of my opponents. They never laid down. They never gave up. Right? I was a superior athlete, a better wrestler, but I realized that they had a big heart. They were very tough guys. So, you know, it really is all about the dynamics of what you do. No one goes in there to get beat up. You know, I'm not going toe-to-toe with anyone just for the sake of putting on a show. Like, I'm trying to get my hand raised. So, you know, I don't think you welcome damage. That doesn't make you a gladiator. Like, what makes you a champion is the ability to generate damage without receiving much of it. So, you know, that's kind of what I do as a wrestler. Score as many points as possible without giving up many. So I'm not going to exchange shots with anyone for the sake of the entertainment of the crowd. Like, I want to win.
Who's the best boxer in the UFC?
Man, me and Thiago Alves was just talking about this. I think Peter Yan.
Interesting.
I really do.
Interesting. Why?
Just the way he moves, the way he doesn't waste a lot of movements. His positioning is always crisp. His footwork, he's never out of position. He's doesn't load up, but he throws clean power shots. You know, good accuracy, works the body well, goes up, goes down. It's just a lot of things that he does really, really well.
I wasn't expecting Peter Yan. It's a great call. He spent a little time at ATT as well prior to 2 fights ago. I thought you were going to say yourself, since you beat Max. If you beat Max, you're the best boxer in the UFC.
I'm on that list.
Okay.
I'm definitely on that list. I can't say that.
Why not?
I'm not that guy.
Why can't you say that?
I'm not that guy, pal. I'm not that guy.
So I just kind of hope Charles Oliveira wins so that I get to fight him, you know, March, April, May. If Dustin Poirier wins, I'm going to have to really entice him to fucking get in there again.
If he wins, he might walk away. What is that all about? That doesn't sound very Dustin Poirier-like.
No, man, I'm a fighter. I'm fortunate enough now with this year that I've had, I could walk away. It's a great position to be in. But these guys need ass whoopings, and I'm the guy to give it to them. And we can't walk away like that, Ariel.
I'm the champ. You know what I mean? Like, you can say whatever you want. You can push whatever bullshit narratives you want. You know, I hate getting into this, but hey, look, at the end of the day, I'm 0-2. I mean, so you're 0-2, and you know you know what I mean. You're trying to act like, oh yeah, maybe we'll see this. And mate, you don't want it. Don't worry about it. I'll get the next guy. There's plenty of people waiting. But again, I want the best guys. Max proved he's the next best guy, and you know what I mean. And you know, again, nothing but respect for him as a fighter. But stop playing the games and all the bullshit. You want the fight? Let the UFC know. You know the UFC are telling you about it. They're telling us about it. You don't want it? Hurry up. We'll see who's next. But Max, man, I'm telling you, that chin's going to go soon. It is going to go soon. You cannot cop that much damage. Yeah, they're talking about 3,000 strikes he's through, which is incredible. You know, and yeah, clap for that.
Yeah.
But he's probably in the thousands or 2,000s of absorption as well. You know what I mean? Like, people are, well, there you go. You know, that's not healthy. So again, that's yeah. And, you know, Conor touched on that. Actually, Conor makes a good point. You know, you talk about being boxer, you know, it's hit and not get hit.
Right.
That's what makes the best boxer. So you look at the numbers, he's hitting a lot of numbers, but let's look at other numbers. Let's look at ratios. Let's look at, you know, you know what I mean? How many strikes are they landing to not land, like, you're not getting, you know, absorbing and things like that. It doesn't get more impressive than mine, I don't think. You know what I mean? I think mine will be right up there. So, but again, you want to talk numbers? Let's talk real numbers. But again, at the end of the day, I'll give Max. He's a gamer. You know, I'm sitting there trying to knock him, but at the same time, you got to give him credit. It's entertaining.
Sure.
It is still while he's fighting, and not give effing, you know what I mean? I was going to swear again. Am I allowed to swear in this
You're
show?
allowed to swear do whatever you want.
Oh,
I'll
beautiful,
swear too.
mate. I've been swearing so much lately.
Yeah,
I've been
me
swearing
too.
so much lately. I don't know what he's hanging around the guys too much, I think, here in Australia. But yeah, like, yeah, man, like, don't get me wrong. You know, watching that and, you know, it's great to watch. But at the same time, you know, you can't do that forever. And that chin's going to go. And let's see if it goes the next one.
A few weeks ago, there was a report that you guys got into a bit of an altercation. She dropped the belt. You felt disrespected by that. You guys were supposed to swap belts. Is that accurate?
Well, there was a plan in place that was supposed to go one way, and if it went one way, then everyone would have had a moment, and it would have been great. And I in the back said, this isn't going to happen. She's going to do something else. And she did exactly what I'd said that she was going to do. And so, because sometimes things can happen out there and, you know, people can get carried away in a moment, and you don't really, you don't have time to process what happens. But when I knew that there was going to be purposefully, she was going to purposely disrespect me, I processed it a lot quicker. And so I was able to hold it together until I got backstage. I did what I was supposed to do. And then when I got backstage, I lost it a little bit.
What happened?
I lost it. I lost
it.
I lost it.
Verbally or physically?
Verbally, I had to go out and do the dark match right after. So, so I verbally lost it. I still had a match to go and do, so I didn't have time to be scrapping in the back.
Verbally lost it to her or to other people?
To her.
To her. And when you have a situation like that, do you get in trouble? Like, does someone talk to you? Does someone say you can't do this? How's that received?
I mean, people were talked to, but at the end of the day, I was right.
Right.
I was right. You know.
Do you feel like one win gets you back in that spot, or do you think it's going to be a few wins needed?
For sure, a few more wins. And feel like Dana's going to do a Hunger Games for Valentina. I feel, and I'm hoping our paths do cross, you know. I feel like Lauren Murphy, she like barely, like she scraped a win from me, and then she went out and kind of done that performance. It's like, at least go out on your sword.
Was that a hard thing to watch?
Yeah.
Because you obviously thought you won that fight, right?
Yeah. I know it was a close fight, but I'm like, that was your one chance, you know, go out there and take it to the champ. But for me, watching as a fan, I was like, there's nothing really happening here.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel...
I know Valentina's a very, like, she's calculated killer, but at least can I go out there and make it exciting, die on your sword?
I think at this point in 2021, going into 2022, I think everybody needs to stop this narrative of fighters are afraid of each other, right? And that you guys are pulling out of fights because there's no fighter afraid of another fighter. Leon ain't afraid of George ain't afraid of Leon. You know what I mean? So that whole, I knew who's never going to make it, BS. We're looking forward to that fight.
I'm not afraid of the champion. 6 days notice. Believe me, there's not a man that God made that I won't fight if I'm ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't address or care. Like, if people think this or people think that, people are always going to think whatever the fuck they want to think. Come March, if we're locked in the cage, it's a different story, you know?
Long story short, I got a staph infection. My fiance, Kristen, and my mom are both nurses. They're like, you need to go to the hospital, get some IV antibiotics. I thought I'd be in there for a day. I'd be out, and I was supposed to fight Kevin Lee at the time. And it was still like 3 or 4 weeks out. I'd have enough time. I'd be completely fine. I got to the hospital. My foot wasn't getting better. I was in there for about a week, a little bit less than a week. 4 days in, they were like, listen, we have to do surgery, because they did an MRI or something like that, or a CAT scan, and they seen it was in my tendon and it was in my my ankle joint. So if it would have got, I guess, into my bone or something like that, it could have got really bad. But the pain I was in, it felt like I was going to lose my foot. Wow. Every time I couldn't walk. I had to use like a walker to go to the bathroom. Every time I would stand up, the pain that would rush to my foot, it was literally the worst pain I've ever had in my life. There was times I was crying at night. I would call because no one could stay at the hospital. I was texting my fiance like I'm scared. Like I was scared, you know. I wasn't even thinking about fighting at that time. I was like, I might never be able to walk again. And I went from, I'm a guy who all I do is train. I run, I spar, I do jujitsu. I'm doing all these things, and then 2 days later, I'm laid up in the hospital, not able to do something. So I got out of the hospital, and it still wasn't over. I had a IV PICC line in my arm, so I had to get antibiotics for 4 weeks. After that. I wasn't allowed to train. I wasn't allowed to sweat because if it got wet on the inside and got into my blood, I could have got an infection in my blood, and I could have died from that.
Oh.
So it was rough.
Something big is happening here.
Hello.
Daniel, I'm live on the air right now. It appears as though you called me. Did you call me in the middle of our show?
I did, dog, but you was on the phone with EK.
I was
a new best friend, EK.
I mean, it's not EK, it's EJ, it's GC. It might have been a subtle shot at you, but listen, we're live on the air right now, Daniel. I had some mixed emotions. I'm holding the phone.
I saw it.
You saw the clip?
I saw it. Hey, all is well now. Now, what I don't want to say is that I was never going to beat you up.
Okay.
I was never going to beat you up. That was all a joke. I was kidding.
I think maybe your partner low-key threatened me, but that's neither here nor there.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this decision was made based on your thoughts. I know people within my family were very worried that you and I weren't getting along. I don't know if you had that on your side.
That's such a lie. That's such a lie. You're such a liar.
I can't tell you right now, my cousin called me like, hey, man, what's going on? He was very scared. People from my family were worried that you and I were starting to lose our path. We can't have that happen. I hope that people on your side showed concern. Was anybody concerned?
My mom called me with a look on her face like she had just been told that, Santa wasn't real. Like the look of disappointment, the look of concern on my dear mother's face on Friday is really what put me over the edge. I realized
you were being a bully.
I was not being a bully. She said, and I quote, "Why did your former friend call you a schmuck? I don't like that he called you a schmuck." Do you have your next fight? Do you have the debut? Do you know when it is? Do you know who's it against?
Hopefully March, and hopefully against this guy, Koji, second name.
Durden.
Hopefully, and if he accepts, I really want to smash him. And I see a lot of my supporters tweeted smash him, and I'm like, hey, if people want to see this, that's what I'm here for.
Is it because of what he said in his post-fight interview on Saturday?
Also, he apologized, but listen, if somebody don't shake your hand, you just call him something. I don't want to swear, but you call him like idiot, But you don't go to race-wise.
Right.
Like race-wise is lower level mentality. Come on. It's like, now I have a lot of circle with very rich people and like who works in the top places. We never talk about like race. I think it's lower level people that talk about race and stuff like this. I don't believe racing should exist if you have a brain, A
lot of debate. Who's the best boxer in MMA? Who's the best boxer in the UFC? Do we need to start talking about Adrian Yanez as well in that discussion?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It needs to be said. Like every time I see someone see those forums be put up or they make lists or anything like that, I'm always annoyed because I'm just like, I know I'm one of the best. I should be up there for sure. And it's not even like a lot of people look at the offensive stuff and I'm just like, bro, like you got to look at the defensive side as well. You got to be able to look at the defensive side, the footwork. There's a lot of things to look at. And I'm just kind of like, well, I know UFC has Zuffa boxing. So man, Dana White, let's put on some boxing gloves with a lot of these guys at the 135 division. Let's duke it out. I think that would actually be fun. Like a little bit of a fun thing that you can do with UFC fighters who haven't took like an MMA fight in a while. Be like, man, throw some boxing gloves for Zuffa boxing and just have them duke it out. And I have a couple matchups that I would like to see, like for myself,
Oh, I'm not sure if Zuffa boxing is much more than a t-shirt at this point, but it is a great idea. It reminds me of the old Brawl for All tournament that they had in WWE. Who would you like to box? Like if they set that up, who's your first opponent?
Oh man, there's a lot of guys, man. Of course, the champ Peter Yan, the interim champ Peter Yan. I would like to strap on the 8s with him. It'd be fun. I would love it. Also, Cody Garbrandt, he has some great boxing as well. I would like to jump in there. Rob Font, Jose Aldo, of course, Sean O'Malley. I think he has some good striking. Who else has? Julio Arce. I know he just lost to Song Yadong, but he has some really great boxing, and also Song Yadong as well. Like, they have some really great hands. I think just throw us in a tournament, and we all go out there and duke it out with the boxing gloves on. I think that'd be fun.
Down at featherweight, back to featherweight, to me is exciting. There's a lot of exciting guys down there that I'd love to get in the octagon with. It's like it's a fresh start. It's all exciting to me. So yeah, I feel like that's the next step for me.
Anyone at the top of the list?
Unless nothing happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyone at the top of the list?
I have had a quick look at the head and shoulders. Like, the number one guy that I would love to get in there with would be the Korean Zombie. I would love to throw down with the Zombie.
This is the biggest payday of your career.
True.
Wow, that kind of blows my mind, if I'm being honest. You fought Brock Lesnar at UFC 100. You fought some of the biggest names. This is the biggest payday. Saturday Night Triad Combat.
Yeah.
By a significant amount?
Not significant. The second Brock fight was close, but that was the second biggest of my career. But no, this one, in fact, if I hit my bonuses and I win, I'm basically touching on 7 figures, and I've never been within a couple $100,000 of that in MMA world.
Does that blow your mind that at your age, you're able to pull in these numbers?
Yes, sometimes it's very humbling to know that I'm still able to, headline a card, and obviously my fight with Cunningham, I think I made a really good statement. I think that really pushed me in a position to be here, that I represented MMA extremely well. I felt that, barring a win, that was about the greatest outcome I could have had, to go out there. In fact, if you'd have asked me, knock Cunningham 30 seconds and catch him with a shot, or box a distance, hold your own, win rounds here and there, show your boxing technique, I would have preferred that, and that's what ended up happening. And so, humbling that I could get there, but also, too, I think that's a testament to what Triller's doing, pushing the paydays and sharing the income. I mean, I realized this a couple of years ago, and this was kind of bittersweet for me. I looked at the amount of pay-per-view buys that Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury sold, and what they took home for paydays. Me and Brock sold more pay-per-views, and I didn't take one home nowhere near as much as either one of them.
I wanted to use your show to announce that I'm dropping a mixtape.
What? I wasn't expecting that. What do you mean a mixtape?
Well, it's going to be some Thug Nasty stuff, brother.
Come on.
And I'm dropping it like it's hot.
You're kidding. Are you joking with me right now?
I'm absolutely serious. And, like you said, I've had a long time off. I've had and I rap on the way to the gym and back a lot. So, I've been making these songs, and I'm dropping them on my YouTube channel. I got that made yesterday. The YouTube channel, it's called Bryce, quote, Thug Nasty, unquote, Mitchell. Okay. So you can go to YouTube on there. And next Wednesday, because today's a Wednesday, next Wednesday, I'm dropping the album.
My God.
It's a mixtape.
How many songs?
7, one for every day of the week.
Oh, my gosh. This is amazing. Are you a fan of MMA? And these guys in particular, Volkanovski, Robert Whittaker, there's a lot of great fighters out of Australia. Do you watch them?
I am. I'm a very good fan of the UFC. I love the sport. I love combat sport, and me and Alex have a good relationship as well. He's been supporting me. I've been supporting him, and I said I'm going to come back with all these belts. Obviously, he's the UFC featherweight king. I'm the lightweight king, and we're going to help each other. How good would that be? For me to sharpen up his striking, for him to sharpen up my grappling, my inside game when I do get in the clinches, to be able to use my weight and get a little bit sharp on that side of things too. So, it's a good thing, because we are both proud, and we are both, got to the top of our sport, and, we are both Greek as well. Not only proud Aussies, but have Greek heritage. So a lot of familiar similarities.
Yeah. So you're going to train together in the future?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, we're going to organise that when I get back, and we're going to do a few things together, and like I said, sharpen up his hands, which is super sharp already, but a little bit more always helps.
I wish they put you and Nate Diaz on the card together because it seemed like
man.
He was so nice to you.
We need an stadium. We need an stadium for that.
Yeah. But wasn't that cool how cool he was to you in Arizona?
Man, he's amazing. He's a gangster, you know. He's real, but he's a gangster. But like I said before, real recognize real. And, you know, I was like very nice with him. Like, hey, man, thank you so much for, you know, for the clothes, for represent and everything, because he sent me a package of clothes before I met him. And I went with him. I went with him in the press conference and say, hey, man, thank you so much. Amazing clothes. I really appreciate it. And maybe he saw that and he started to be really nice with me. So, yes, man, he's a very nice guy. And
what if they reach out to you to be in the Hall of Fame? Would you accept it?
No, fuck them.
Why?
I don't fight for no Hall of Fame. I don't fight for fame. What you get for being in the Hall of Fame?
No, but
I
just
never
like
fought
to be
for
honored.
fame.
To be honored.
Man, I didn't fight to be honored. I fought for honor and for you know, a career, pay my bills. I didn't fight to be famous. I never fought to be famous.
If they call you up and say, we want to honor you after your UFC career, we want to honor you for what you did, UFC 71, the great fights, will you accept this invitation to be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame? You say no?
I say no right now. I say honor me with a fucking check.
All these new Contender Series guys and stuff that's coming up is don't take these tough fights. I ain't gonna lie to you. Don't do it. Cherry pick. That's what they really want to see. You know, they say they want somebody to step up and take the tough fights and do all this. Man, they're gonna be your best friend when they want you to take the fight. They're damn near get on their hands and knees, but then afterwards, they'll kick you to the curb. So people told me that going into the UFC too. They told me that same thing. I didn't really listen. You know, I just kept trying to give them what they want, but don't even do that. Cherry pick. Cherry pick like a motherfucker.
That is good advice.
You'll get further that way.
Right.
Help Sean O'Malley right.
Right. I was going to say that. The unranked Sean O'Malley route.
So I'm in a group text and it's always current, you know, anything to do with the UFC and they're on it, man. These guys are good. But and supposedly Giga said something. Honestly, I don't even know what he said, but it was distasteful. Gid had some something he wanted to say after my last fight. And, you know, I'm looking forward to the opportunity to make him pay for it in the next one.
Gunnar versus Khamzat Chimaev. And everyone started losing their mind. Wow, Gunnar hasn't fought in 2+ years. Khamzat's on a roll. He's a beast. What do you make of this idea? Do you like this idea?
Yeah, you know, I'll fight anybody.
Wow.
So if he wants to fight me, then let's do it.
Have you watched this guy?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Are you impressed?
Great fighter. Yeah, he's very good.
So, no, I mean, there's not a lot of people raising their hand to fight him right now.
No.
I mean, he's on a roll.
Yeah, I can understand. I would definitely have thought he would have fought somebody in the top 5 or 10 or whatever. I don't really follow the rankings too well, but if he wants to fight me in London, then of course I'll be honored to.
Wow,
it's crazy, man. It's been a crazy route for me, and just to overcome all the stuff that I had to overcome personally and internally, I feel like a whole different individual. I feel a lot better and more confident in myself, and I feel like this Friday is gonna be the first step of really showing who Sergio Pettis is.
What was the turning point for you? How did you start to believe that you belonged here, that you were a fighter, that you were, worthy of all of this?
I think just that everyday grind, man. I wouldn't give up. Even though I had these negative thoughts and this bad perspective of myself at a young age, the more I kept going to the gym, the more I kept showing up and getting some successful wins over big names, I started realizing, maybe I'm good at this, and maybe this is a sport for me and the route that I want to take. And I think around, honestly, when I got my first 2 back-to-back losses, I really started to see my true love for the sport. I lost to Husier Formiga, then I lost to Rob Font right after that. And I had some dark times of questioning everything, man. I was questioning, everything, my career, my life, all of that. And then the only thing that made me feel better was showing up and going to the gym. And I realized, this is it for me. This is what I want to do. And this is everything that I need has been in front of me this whole time. And now it's just it's been a great journey, man. Like it's been awesome to see all that.
If it was up to you, who does he fight in his highly anticipated return?
I'll be honest, the Nate Diaz trilogy is very, very tempting. It's a fight that gives me nightmares. The man doesn't stop coming forward for whether it's 3 rounds or 5 rounds, but it's an intriguing fight. So that one is definitely very interesting, but also the Tony Ferguson one. It never happened. It was talked about a lot. Tony still has, I believe, a lot to offer the game. He's very unorthodox striker, grappler. I think the build-up would be fun for the fans. So, any of those kind of legacy guys. But look, that division is killer. You've your Dan Hookers in there. The Islam fight would be amazing as well for obvious reasons. And we have, whoever's going to win this belt coming up that's very soon, right? That fight is in this Saturday. Oh my God. So, look, any of those names, I'm just excited to see Conor back, healthy, training. I wondered what would happen after this injury. It's a long road back to recovery. The boy, it's not a secret, he's got a couple of quid in the bank. He could obviously go off and live in an island and play on his yacht for the rest of his life. But I have not seen 1% drop in his incredible drive and desire and passion and interest in the sport. I've said it to you many times. I've said it to everybody that it's when you truly, if you can get rid of money problems, you really find out what it is you're passionate about, because, you'll only do something you really enjoy. He's still in the gym all day, every day. We're still chatting about fighting techniques all day, every day. He's still talking about getting that belt again all day, every day. What can you conclude from this? He loves fighting. He loves mixed martial arts. He loves competition. So let's get back healthy. Let's get back training, and let's go on a run in 22. And I'm sure there's some people there with steam coming out of their ears that he's coming back for that belt. But I'm sorry to upset you. He's coming back there for that belt. So give me your best shot on Twitter.
You're not a fan of the walkout? I mean, Gervonta Davis just last night came out with, I don't know who it was, if I'm being honest. I'm not that cool, but someone was rapping next to him on the way.
Did he win?
He won, yeah. You didn't watch.
No, Ariel, I'm in bed at that time. I'm not up that late. I didn't even watch Jose Aldo Rob Font. I was too late. I woke up in the morning and put on ESPN and watched it without even knowing who won.
Wow, what time did you go to bed?
9:30ish.
Really? Is that a camp thing or a general lifestyle thing?
Ideally, it's all the time. In camp, it's very strict, very dialed in. I have the best sleep in the UFC, in my opinion.
What does that mean?
My sleep's been a number one priority to me for a long time. Ever since I watched Joe Rogan podcast with Matthew Walker, and they talked about sleep, kind of freaked me out. So sleep's the number one thing in camp, and I get my sleep in.
Wait, what freaked you out? I have not seen that episode. What freaked you out about that?
It's an older episode. I think 3 or 4 years ago I watched it, and just how important sleep is for all around health, especially with performance. It's the number one performance enhancer, sleep. You go and have a good workout, you eat good, and you sleep like shit. Right. It's just you don't get all that you could out of it. So sleep's number one priority for me in camp.
Okay, so now we get to Tyron. Was he the only one considered?
There was thoughts, there was random thoughts, but the first phone call was to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he immediately was like, yeah, I've been training. He was supposed to have a fight in January. So he's in shape. So it makes perfect sense for him. It's Tyron's lucky day, right? He gets another massive payday, and he gets the opportunity or the chance to avenge himself.
And you said on Twitter earlier this morning, you will pay him $500,000 out of your own pocket if he stops you. Why?
There's rumors going around, that everyone sort of has come to believe that like my fights are rigged, or that I don't have, or I don't allow my opponents to knock me out in the contracts. And it's just not true. It's completely bullshit. Of course, all these people are going to do is try to discredit me, because when you're at the top, that's what happens. So I just want to nip the rumors in the butt and give my opponent contractually I'm giving Tyron an extra $500,000 if he can knock me out. So it just nips the rumors in the butt and shows people that all of my fights have been real, are real, and will continue to be real. It's illegal to rig a fight or to stage a fight. It's illegal to have things like that because it's fraud and there's outcomes. You can't change the outcome of a professionally sanctioned bout. It's illegal. You end up in jail. So the fact that people even say this, we just wanted to squash the rumors.
Honestly, I've always looked at as fighting as not a long-term thing for me. And I know it's different for everybody. I started training competitively for MMA when I was 18. I've obviously been doing martial arts my whole life. And, when I started training to compete in amateur fights, I always kind of thought, when I'm 30, I'll probably be calling it a day. That'll probably be enough time, 12 years from that point. And it's kind of weird to me that it kind of worked out the way it did, because I was 30 for my last fight. It wasn't like a set in stone, it wasn't like a hard deadline for me, but it really just all revolves around the future of my mental health. I'm doing fine. I'm fine. I know that, the brain can only take so much, and I've been in, some wars, and the only way to guarantee not being in a war is to just not go in there. I've shown myself that I'll do whatever it takes to stay in the fight. So for me, the only way I can, avoid getting, damage as a guarantee is just not to fight. I feel really good. Like you said, I feel like I'm in my prime. I feel like on November 13th, when I stepped in there, I was going to beat anybody that was in front of me. I was really determined. I had an amazing camp. I was super excited to be in there. And it's a kind of a hard decision, but I know in my heart that that's what I want to do. I feel like I would feel really guilty to continue to fight, just for where I'm going to be in 20 years from now to think about my family, my husband, even my parents. If I was not in myself 20 years from now, I wouldn't care, I guess, but at that point I wouldn't know, but thinking about my family and, in the future.
Are you a fan of Jake and what he's doing in the world of boxing? I know he's not one of your fighters, but just curious if you have appreciation for the interest that he is bringing to boxing.
The truth is, I've never seen him fight. I don't know if he can fight or not fight. I'm inclined to believe that an experienced fighter in his weight class would demolish him, because, an experienced fighter in any weight class will demolish a young fighter, no matter what his amateur pedigree is. I can't see why that would be different. But again, I've never seen either Paul fight, so I can't comment. And if he arranges these fights and people want to watch the fights, I'm all for it, because nobody's holding a gun to anybody's head. People make the choice that they want to see an event. And maybe I can say in my own mind, why are they so interested in the event? But it's their choice. And they certainly shouldn't be prevented from doing it. So I'm not a fan, but I'm not antagonistic. I wish him well. And I think he's fighting an MMA guy in his next fight. I hope they do well, but I've never seen either of them fight. So go with God.
I love this. What a nice answer there from Bob. That's tremendous stuff. What was that like when you spoke after the fight? What was that conversation like?
For me, it's not so nice, because, I'm a bit shy, I'm a little bit shy because hey, yesterday we fight, and yesterday I make him damage,
Yeah.
And now I say, hey, bro, how are you? I'm shy.
Yeah.
I'm just staying and talking. I don't know what I need to say now,
Yeah, talk.
When I stay with him, I think, oh, what I say now? Oh, I'm just,
How is he towards you?
He good. He always good.
Yeah. It must have been weird, right? Like, did you enjoy that fight? Did you enjoy the process, the finish? Or are you kind of just happy that it's over because of your relationship with Brad?
Oh, one fight's just starting, you know, when we start move and I start thinking, we fight now. I need now punch him real, you know. And he punched me real now. And, you know, like first 10 seconds, maybe I think, what is that now?
Yeah.
What happened? Not so comfortable, you know, but after, I'm starved and I'm turned on.
Honest. Do you know who Vince Vaughn is? Or did he tell you because he's such a smart guy? Be honest with us.
No. Of course I know who is this. I like his movies, you know.
Okay.
And I know he's like, and yes, he this decided like he said me like, oh, this is good idea if you invite him to the fight.
Yes.
After, you know. But bro, I need to win first, and after I need to invite someone, you know.
Yes.
He said me before fight, hey, when you win, do this one. This is good idea. I say, oh, this nice idea. Of course, now I need to win.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
After I have like, you know, in the head, after win in the head, we have mixed vegetables and everything, you know.
Sure.
And I forget about everything, and just that's why I say, hey, what is his name? What's his name, you know?
Do you think Cody Garbrandt moving down to 125 is a mistake?
You know, when you get desperate, you're running out of options, and sometimes the last resort is to go down. You know, he's always been in exciting fights, even though he was coming off second best. You know, he always put on exciting fights, and I know he's going to be dangerous. You know, he's been in there with the best, and he was the fastest at bantamweight. He's got, you know, probably one of the best boxings in the UFC. So it'd be naive for me to just think, oh yeah, he's not going to be as durable. I can just walk through him. No, it's going to be a tough fight, and I know that. But I made sure that, you know, I'm coming in fit, and I'm going to use that as a weapon. I want to put the pressure on him, make him feel the weight cut, make him feel that, you know, it was a wrong decision to come down to flyweights. Look what happened to TJ, and it doesn't always work out. But that's the beauty about the fight game. We get to find out in the next few days. I've ticked all the boxes this camp. I've gone over everything. You know, the best team in the world, City Kickboxing, with our head coach Eugene. We've gone over all of the tendencies and stuff that he will do. There's only so much you can do in a few months to kind of reinvent yourself and change your style. You know, once you get hurt, Cody's always going to go back to his default, which is just swing and just get reckless. But that makes it for a fan favorite fight. That's what I love. I want to be tested. I want to get be in the line of fire, because when I put him out, there's just no excuses. So.
Tell us right now, look into that damn camera and tell Khamzat, say something to Khamzat. Let's go. Send a message to Khamzat Chimaev.
Khamzat, you know exactly who I am. You know exactly how to get a fight against me. Let's go ahead and make this thing happen. The whole idea of you not having an opponent, not being able to find an opponent, we all know is BS. Let's go ahead and make this fight happen. And me and Neil together. Let's make it happen.
Let's go, Neil. Let's go, baby. I saw him call you. Did he call you skinny boy? I saw him call you skinny boy, right? Did he call you that?
Yeah, dude, and it's like skinny boy. I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, like, what to respond? I'm just like, wait a minute. We're both 6'3", and we compete at 170 pounds. You do realize we have the exact same body frame, right? Like at that point, I was just like, I literally was like, all my time, like about to tweet something out, and just like, what am I doing, dude? I'm not wasting time in this nonsense. Like skinny boy.
Can I just say, you appear to be in fantastic shape, Chael. I mean, the veins popping out of your neck right now. Are we working out? What are we doing? Are we coming back? What's happening?
No, I'm not coming back, but I have been working hard. I actually got offered a fight, Ariel, and I had to say no. You know, I don't fight anymore, so I had to say no to it. But that is the first time in my life I've been offered a fight and said no. It was going to be for a boxer. I apologize. A boxing match with an NFL guy whose last name is Gore.
Frank Gore.
Frank Gore. Is it Frank Gore? Okay, yeah. And I was going to be on this, what is now Woodley versus Paul. I only bring that to you because, no, I have those fantasies like anybody. Abu Dhabi's coming up. I'm the super fight champion. I have those fantasies of going in and competing again, but I'm not putting the work in.
doing a lot of stuff on bench press. When COVID hit, I got myself right in my garage. I got a bench press. I ordered a treadmill off of Craigslist. I do a lot of walking, more walking than running, and I hit the weights every now and then. And my son and daughter's there. It's kind of a family playful thing, which I think speaks to the lack of intensity that I'm putting out. I appreciate the compliment very much, but I think in truth, partner, I'm just wearing a tight shirt.
It's a nice shirt.
The last I heard from Jon Jones was through text message via emoji of a giant middle finger, which by the way, he skin toned it, and I laughed. It was great. Clayton Hires does that too. When he sends me the fist, they take and I love it. And I laughed when Jon did it. No, I am still upset and annoyed with Jon. I think he would be at me too, but that doesn't mean I can't stand back and acknowledge Jon's a pretty funny guy. I got a lot of Jon Jones stories where he's been humorous. I told you he mooned my mother in a hotel. I mean, so he's a funny guy. It'd probably be better if we did get along, but no, to answer your question, we don't.
Wait a second. I don't know about the mooning of Mrs. Sonnen in the hotel. What?
Oh my goodness, this was great. So Jon and I fight in New Jersey, and we get done about 2:00 from the arena. The fight ends at 1:00, and then I got to get stitches. Then there's a post-fight press conference. So it's 2:00. It's a late night. I've got to be in the lobby at 6:00 the next morning to meet my mother to get to the airport to fly back to Portland. So Jon was up around the clock. And when I get to my mother in the lobby of the hotel at 6 a.m., there's only my mother and Jon Jones there. And Jon is wearing nothing but red sweatpants. He's got no shirt, no hat, no shoes, no. I mean, when I say nothing, he's wearing nothing but red sweatpants, and he's visiting with her, and he's being very polite. Jon excuses himself. My mother and I get our bags, and we're going to go. Jon takes the elevator up, then he walks out. It was one of those hotels where the doors are on the outside so you can see everything. And Jon yells down to her one last time to get her to look up, dropped his pants, mooned her, went into his room and went to sleep. She loved it. By the way, some people think that's rude. My mother loved it. She bragged about that to her bunco group. She put a message on Facebook. She still laughs about that to this day. So I don't want to hear people say that Jon was inappropriate. It was a funny move. It's up to my mother to decide. She liked it. Wow. Jake Paul does not need this fight. However, there's 20 other men and women on that card whose Christmas will be ruined, whose holidays will be ruined if they don't get to go out there and compete. And Jake Paul followed the golden rule of show business, which is the show must go on. And that is a gangster move, and he deserves credit for it. I really respect it. I think he's up against it. I think he really is. And I think that Tyron has gone to bed every single night thinking about Jake Paul, praying on his hands and knees that this opportunity comes. I think that Tyron's in a very good spot. That's how I'll word it.
Wow.
Just the sport's three biggest stars all have in common. They didn't win their last fight. They didn't even win their fight before that. And I just think that Nate has an innate ability. Look, if Chimaev tackles him and pounds him out, Nate's quickly going to flip the script to, you tackled me like a sissy, why don't you stand up with me like a man? And he's going to build the story right into boxing. That's what I suggest. Of course, it's better to have a victory, or even if you lose, to lose closely. Nate gained a lot of and saved a lot of face just by hurting Leon in that final round. So many people say, well, if there was 20 seconds left, Nate would have finished him. I just bring that to you because Nate has something special. Nate has an ability to monetize more than just the punches and the kicks. Every fighter can only monetize, and his only commodity is the performance. Nate offers something else, which is the entertainment outside of it. It's the same thing that Conor has. It's the same thing Masvidal has. It's the reason that we, the fan, I'm a Nate fan, man. I'm coming along whether he beats Chimaev or not.
I've never said a thing about the commentary until people started asking me. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no complaints because I know that position. It's a very hard position to be in, Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
To say what you see and to understand what you're seeing and to break it down in a way that people can digest and understand and learn on the other end is important to me. That doesn't have to be important to everybody else.
It was a huge story. I can't believe how big of a story. I said afterwards, that's just you. You're the kind of guy who's going to say what you feel in the moment. You're not going to sugarcoat it. And DC's endearing quality is that he actually doesn't take this stuff personally. The fact that you guys can sit down minutes later, talk about it, and I can guarantee you he didn't run to the bosses. He didn't complain. He didn't try to bury you. He didn't try to throw you under the bus. He's not insecure, basically, and you're not insecure. So you're almost like the only two people on the planet that I can think of that could have a moment like that and not have any lingering resentment. You know what I'm saying? And
that's beautifully said. And I think that's what we're missing in the leadership of this world right now.
Well, thank you.
Is communications like that and just can be hashed out. Like, we don't got to hate each other at the end of it. Nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. We're just here. and we're clear. And I love you, Cormier, and you love me too. And let's move on. None of us know what's going to happen no matter what we say. I mean, you can try to prepare the best you can, but if you're the nail in there, do you have the rounds in to not get finished?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been the nail in practice when you're facing 2-3 guys in a 5-round session. It's hard to not be a nail when you're facing 2 or 3 guys. And so being in those moments where I get rocked in practice and these guys are still coming after to kill me in practice, those are the rounds that you find out who you are to show up on these nights and be willing to die. I will say that after I lost my fight against Cody, I did say, let's see where these people are at. I've been here. I went 10 years without losing. That's hard to do. With injuries or without, it doesn't matter. When if you're injured and then you come back and you're facing the number 1 or 2 guys in the division, it's like that injury should not say that you were out and safe. You were never safe. There was always somebody there that was supposed to be better than you. And you were just coming back to face the next best guy without the repetitions, without the rounds, without the sparring, without the mat time. Some people say, well, that equates to rest. Well, then if that equates to rest, then why are we talking about ring rust?
Mm.
So it's like, this is how I can take everybody's narratives and just say, stop it. None of this matters. You guys are being silly. Come on. I'm not you. So I'm not going to let you limit me to what you believe. That's why you're not here. And it's not a bag on anybody, but it's like, open your mind up. You people don't know what your bodies are capable of. It's all of your bodies, everybody. You, Ariel, like we're all capable of crazy things. And I think sometimes, when you watch fighters and why we can all relate is we're willing to push it and see how capable they are.
I like at the press conference where he was kind of shooing you off, and at the weigh-ins, I felt the vibes that he was putting out. Now, I don't know if it was just him overcompensating, was like, I'm a former champ, I'm a big star, who are you? You're not on my level. That's the way it came across, and I feel like that's always a big mistake and a very telling sign when someone does that. Clearly, you picked up on that as well. You felt disrespected by him, yes?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just the way he, I guess, went about it, just not even really acknowledging me. This whole camp, not even saying my name. He called me Steve.
Yes, he called you Steve.
That was the build-up,
That's crazy.
Took me back to when Muhammad Ali for Sonny Liston, when he was calling him Cassius Clay, and the fighter said, "What's my name? What's my name?" So I was, pretty. Relatable moments when I was hitting him, and he now remembers my name. So,
wow.
Yeah.
It looked to the naked eye. I mean, these are $1 million cameras and they're great, but you would think that they would get the shot of like, I'm about to snap this girl's arm. I'm about to have the first ever victory by straight arm lock. That's what was playing in my mind. Like, I was like, man, it probably looks like people probably are like, oh, she's going to choke her. But I'm like, dude, her arm is going to snap in half. I have her arm. Like, I wish that they could see that. Like I don't know if they saw it or not. I actually haven't seen the full fight yet, but I had her in trouble in round 1. And I knew that that's the moment that I was like, man, like if this is how our grappling exchanges are going to be, I could do this all night long. And especially just the amount that she was breathing, you could hear her like, and I'm just cool.
Chilling.
If you ever look back at any of my other fights, I kind of don't have a great reaction regardless when you win. I feel like it's kind of rude to be like super celebratory. And then also, Mike Valley's always told me, don't fall in love with your wins and don't fall in love with your losses, So it's like, do celebrating behind closed doors. You don't got to be, making yourself freak out. I mean, it was a great moment and everybody celebrates how they celebrate. But for me, it was like, okay, it's over. It's done with. I was actually in shock, I think, because I was like, that's it. All right, it's over. Oh man. Like, thought we were going to have more of a fight.
Oh, no.
Whether you want me to sit here and say, did I go into that fight with my head hanging off? It doesn't really matter. I'm the guy who decided to fight. I'm the guy who decided to take the fight. Be what it come. Which basically means if I'd have won, I'd have won. And I lost, I lost. And that's all there is to it. Make no excuses. You're going to go into the fight, whether you're injured or 100%. You're going in that fight because you believe that you can win. So when the fight's said and done, don't start making all your shitty little excuses. Oh, I was injured. Oh, I lost the fight because of this. Sit back and lose the fight gracefully. And that's what I feel like I've done. Like Brunson, I seen him on your MMA. I was saying like he's seen me doing like box jumps in the UFC PI that I wasn't injured. Same again, mate. It doesn't matter what I say. I lost the fight. So you're never going to hear me say that shit. What, you know what I mean? I lost the fight, and that's all there is to it.
Do you feel confident? Do you feel, I mean, there's a process,
You know what,
right?
Ariel? Yeah, honestly, years ago, I had this stone cold confidence. I just knew I was the fucking shit. I just knew I was the best at what I did. And obviously, when I come off 2 losses, that gets knocked a bit. And then I came back, went up a weight, obviously beat Kelvin Gastelum. You know, we just very nearly beat the champ who seems unbeatable. And then after that, very, very, very nearly, apart from one takedown, I say beat Robert Whittaker, who I consider now, I've got him as the favourite going into the fight with Izzy. And I'm not throwing hate towards it. It's just the way Robert's looked compared to Izzy as of late. So I know me level, mate. You know, I'm coming off a loss to Brunson. I'm not trying to disrespect Brunson in no way, shape or form. The man beat me fair and square. And, you know, he's fair play. He's older now. He's got he'll get a second title shot, probably, whatever, at the belt. So I'm happy. But, you know, I'm not losing to a man like that any day of the week, you know, if I'm on it. And I just want that confidence back that I had with, like, the work ethic and that, like, that I'm the fucking shit. Because I know I am, mate. Listen, I didn't spend 4 years in Brazil area right to have shit take down the fence and not know what to do. Fucking right, I know what to do, mate. I know how to defend takedowns and get back to my feet. I've showed it. No man's ever took me down and kept me on the ground. No one. You know, Whittaker's not far behind Brunson in the wrestling department. And when he was taking me down in the 5th round with a torn MCL, I was bouncing straight back up. I know what I'm doing. You know, but it's just the last fight, you know, he was able to nullify me and win. I just want that fucking stone cold confidence back I had when I'm, you know, going forward, and I'll get it. You know, I will get it.
Because honestly, like when it happened, I was like, oh, wow, it's over? I like, you can't even see. It didn't even look like it was locked in. I know the hooks weren't in, but was the choke actually in tight? Were you surprised that she tapped when she did?
Yeah, Rick and I have been working this choke for a while, and it was the same pretty much variation choke that I got with Sarah McMahon. It was absolutely tight, and she had no choice but to tap. People want to say that she quit. She didn't quit. She was getting choked. You know, she had no choice but to tap. I would have broke her neck. She's a fighter that doesn't do well when fighting against adversity. When she's the bully and when she's the pressure, she's great. Girls fold, they crumple. But when she is when she is being bullied and when she is being pressured, that's what she can't handle. And that's what I knew was the case. And you saw that when she, you know, was fighting Kat Zingano. You know, Kat Zingano broke her. And we saw that, you know, she's been, I think maybe in Invicta, I saw somebody else break her too. She's had losses, you know, so those types of scenarios I knew still existed in her, and it just needed a chance to break through and rear its ugly head. And the only way to do that is to make somebody tired, to get them to work, to make them work and make them fight.
Does Bilal do anything that worries you?
I mean, you should always be ready. I don't think so. I mean, I'm not afraid of his power, not afraid of his striking. I mean, the worst thing that he could do is, you know, I think try and take me down.
Right.
You know, maybe try and submit me. I don't.
Your teammate, Amanda Nunes, losing to Juliana Pena. Scale of 1 to 10, how shocked were you?
12.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was a heartbreaker. It was a heartbreaking weekend for American Top Team in general. And I think actually a couple weeks, you know, if you start off with the Kyoji loss and then you go into the UFC fights, it was a really tough skid there for us. And for me, I mean, I was definitely shocked. There are videos of me like screaming and stuff, and I need to be more careful about how I show my emotions in the future. But you know, this is why we have fights. This is the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. This is the highs and the lows. And this sport is unforgiving. And winning is unforgiving. It doesn't care if you show up, and it doesn't care if you work the hardest, and it doesn't care if you're the most confident, and it doesn't care if you're the most talented. Sometimes it's just not your night. So you got to do everything in your power to prepare and handle all of the business that you can handle so that you have the best chances on that night. But sometimes shit happens. So I was heartbroken for Amanda, obviously. Congrats to Juliana. She had a great game plan and executed very well. But it was a heartbreaker. I'm still emotionally hungover, I think, from the weekend, just like Dustin, all of them. I bet on myself, and I believed in myself, and I believed that someday I would make it. And I do feel like I'm close now to hitting that. And really just, I feel super blessed to I have wealth beyond measure, not just the financial piece and the financial abundance that hopefully is coming my way, but the life that I live. If you had told me at 16, Kayla, you're going to be, MMA's hottest free agent, and you're going to be undefeated, and you're going to get to wake up every day and do what you love with people you enjoy doing it with, and you're going to have 2 beautiful kids, and you're going to live in sunny South Florida, and you're going to be this, your life is going to get so much better and so much bigger than you ever dreamed. If you had told me this at 16, I wouldn't even have been able to visualize it. That's how crazy my life is now. That's how blessed my life is now. So I'm honored, and I'm humbled, and I'm excited for even bigger blessings to come my way.
But what about Juliana saying that you're a B-League fighter? What did she say to MMA Junkie? You fight B-Leagues? What about that? Yeah. Some shade.
I'm the lesser training partner, and I'm a B-League fighter, and yada, yada, yada. I don't know.
Were you offended by that?
I think she should be careful. I think she needs to be careful what she says and who she says it to, because this isn't like I'm not Conor McGregor. I don't talk shit just to talk shit. I have a lot of respect for her. I think that she's a good fighter. But this isn't a joke, and you should be careful, because I don't play those games. So we're not like, I'm not a B-League fighter. I'm going to be the best in the world. And if you think that's different, then step in a cage with me and find out.
You say you're trying to do something that's never been done before. What are you referring to?
Well, maybe never been done. I don't mean to oversell it. I'm not trying to say I'm, out here, reinventing martial arts by any stretch of the imagination. But I would say that, there's techniques, there's tactics, there's approaches that are, you'll see little bits here and there. Obviously, there's no question that I borrowed, some great ideas from Masakazu Imanari and people like him. There was some really fantastic things being done in, combat wrestling in Japan in the 90s and elsewhere, and things that I'm completely unaware of as well. I'm sure that have influenced me and other people around me that are in the background program. I just can't really put my finger on where I saw it or how I saw it. And I might even think I came up with it on my own, when the reality is I probably didn't. But when it comes to, the combination of striking, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and the way that we're doing it, I think we are attempting to rewrite a new script a little bit here. And, for all of the good and also the danger of that. And I think that that's something that maybe hopefully resonates with other people. If that does, that's neat. Ultimately I'm here because I enjoy the challenge. I love the danger. I love how real mixed martial arts is. I love that when I'm wrong and I'm really wrong, what happens in July is what needed to happen. I don't love the outcome, but at the same time, I do love the outcome. I think that that's one of the things that can happen to any of us is, most of us get out of situations where we're forced to grow very early in our life. School, early work, let's say, and it's easy to hide. It's easy to go, my ideas are pretty good, or I'm surrounded by people that I have more experience than, or people that are maybe less likely to walk up and tell me that I'm doing something wrong. Well, my favorite thing about being in the UFC is that you're constantly surrounded by people that will not only walk up and tell you you're doing something wrong, they will demonstrate to you, if something's not right. And even something else to consider sometimes is the math on it. These are one-off instances. These are not, 7-game series. So even if you have a good idea, let's say a 70%er, that's fantastic. But 70% on fight night isn't great, man. That means 30% of the time you crash and burn. So that's something that I'm always very, very interested in. The Khabib Nurmagomedovs, the great fighters. Dominic Cruz put on an amazing display again this past week. Obviously, grit and toughness is a critical component, because anyone can get hit. Anyone can. That's the beauty of fighting, is it can be going fantastically and it can take a hard left turn and go sideways just because of one shot, and then you find yourself in a scrap. And that was something that we saw. A great fight from Dom and Pedro Munoz this weekend.
but I'm very, very interested in like the Floyd Mayweather's world, the people who are able to take the chaos and make it clinical and, kind of master the volatility of an otherwise very, very volatile game. So that's kind of what we're shooting for.
And back in the day, for example, Strikeforce, how did they differentiate themselves from the UFC? They had a women's division. UFC didn't. So that was their thing. No one's gone after 165, 175. And with so many promotions and fighters, it's hard to be different. That's one way to be different. And right off the bat, you see the reaction to this. It's great. People love it. And you're the perfect guy to head that up. Was that your decision? Was that your idea? Or was that their idea that they pitched to you?
It was their idea.
Wow.
And that made it even make more sense for me, you know? It's like, okay, I see y'all are forward thinking, you know, you're not just going to do the conventional same old, and just try and outcompete somebody else. Like, no, let's think outside the box here. 165 is something that it's inevitable. I mean, this is the first one. This is the inaugural. I'll be the first champ. So it's a bit of history there. I think after a while, we're going to look back on times like this and there's an established lineage of 165 champions, just the same way it was with 155. Something that's boxing's done, right? They add these new weight classes and then people become champion. And then all of a sudden, like, okay, there's a lineage here. So this is the start of that.
Part of the appeal of this deal is that you're going to be paid in Bitcoin. Is that accurate?
Yep.
So how did that all come about? Was that your idea or their idea?
It was a joint idea, you know. Markel's part of CAA, with the best agency in the world, the biggest. So, you know, I've been investing in them since 2017. After my fight with Tony, I invested in Bitcoin all the way back then. And it honestly, when I had the knee surgeries, it saved my ass because I forgot about that money. But then when Bitcoin blew back up, that gave me some money to live off of. So it's something that I really believe in and really believe that's honestly going to be the big future. So to be the first MMA fighter who has a deal, a deal worth millions of dollars in Bitcoin, the first one, there was some appeal to that for me.
Did you watch Dominic Cruz or did you not watch at all?
Yeah, I caught the tail end of Cruz's fight. Yeah, he did awesome, man. Like, I really appreciate guys like that. Like the Dominic Cruzes and the Jose Aldos. That's why I think it would be so cool for me to fight them one day, is just because, like they kind of all are on the tail end of their careers, you know? And I really respect the guys that fight all the way up until they can't anymore. And to me, like that's just a really admirable thing. And I think that Cruz doing so well against Munoz just goes to show that, like, you know, the guy has a lot of passion and the guy really loves the sport. And same with Aldo, you know, like I have a ton of respect for the guys that stick around for a really long time, because this sport isn't easy, man. And the guys that they've been fighting for years and years and years have not been easy guys. So for them to continue to put themselves in that fire is like very, very admirable. So I was happy for Cruz, man. You know, I would be kind of lying. I've always wanted to fight Cruz, man. Like, yes. I've always wanted to fight.
Let's go, Corey. Come on.
You know, if you're gonna press me real hard, man, like he's probably at the top of my list, especially because, you know, Font wasn't even really in that fight with Aldo. From my understanding, even though I didn't watch a ton of it, you know, like a lot of the judges had it 50-45. So if that was maybe more of a competitive fight, then Font would definitely interest me. Not to take anything away from Font, but you know, Cruz did really well, and Cruz is a legend, and he's someone that I watched and admired for a really long time. So that would be cool.
Do you follow MMA? Do you follow UFC?
I don't obviously follow as much as I follow boxing, but when there's obviously, I was watching even the last week's fights, Amanda Nunes, the big shock last week. I'm actually a huge fan of the likes of Sean O'Malley. I think he's a phenomenal fighter.
Wow.
He's probably one of my favorite fighters in the UFC actually at the moment. So I do have my favorite fighters in the UFC as well. And obviously when Conor McGregor is fighting, everyone here is booed.
You say to a young girl who looks up to you, but maybe is a little shy to go to the gym, to be a boxer, intimidated because she's the only one in her class who likes boxing, who likes Katie Taylor, right? I'm sure there's a lot of intimidation there. There's a lot of nerves about taking that first step. What would be your advice to that person?
Yeah, I think that taking the first step is definitely the hardest, isn't it? Because it can be a very intimidating environment. But I think anybody who takes that step into that threshold has my respect instantly, because it takes so much courage to step into the ring. And once you do that, you're going to just fall in love with the sport. I'm someone who is shy. I'm a very shy person myself, so I can definitely relate to that. But yeah, just go for it. And I grew up having this unconventional dream of becoming an Olympic champion. Even before women's boxing was even sanctioned as an Olympic sport, even before women's boxing was sanctioned in my country. So when I was growing up with this dream, people were laughing at me nearly as if I was crazy. But who cares what people think? If you have that dream in your heart, just go for it. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't be anything. That's exactly how I was brought up. I was brought up knowing that nothing was too big for me. If I got my head down, if I worked hard, nothing was too big for you.
What bothers you the most about your performance?
I'm not sure. The second round, waiting to trying to get a stand up instead of maybe attacking my jiu-jitsu and trying to create space. Thinking, going into this fight, I thought that if I was put in a bad position, I was going to hold it out and take over in the later rounds was my mindset. And obviously Herb wasn't going to stand us up, and I just held on, kept holding on. Should have created space. Maybe I would, I don't know. Hindsight's always 20/20. So there's a lot of stuff I can say and look back on, and I'm not sure, but I'm just so much better than that. And everybody says that when they lose, but I know I am. Just sucks, man, because it's one of those things, like maybe never get the opportunity again to call myself world champion and to underperform. I owed it to myself. This one was for me. It wasn't for the money. It wasn't for proving anything. It was for me, and fucking fumbled, man. It hurts.
Is there any part of you that feels like you may never fight again?
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I would hate to never fight again off of a loss. The real thing that sucks for me, man. I'm trying not to get emotional, but I really wanted. My daughter was there for this one. I really wanted to win and dedicate this world championship to my daughter and just show her that. It hurts, man.
Can you compare how you feel a few days removed from this to how you felt after the Khabib fight? Is it the exact same emotions?
No, these are a little bit different for some reason. These are a little bit different. Because the Khabib fight, I felt like I was bested, like I did everything I could and I lost. This one, I feel like I didn't. I could have done more, and that hurts. That's something I have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I could have been smarter. I could have been more in the moment. Could have been more locked in, and I could have been the world champion. Could have. If coach would have put me in back in high school, I could have thrown the football over those mountains, man.
What a fun few months it has been. We're going to be back on January 3rd. Let the world know. MMA Hour Awards as I drop my pencil. And we'll give out the most prestigious award in mixed martial arts. And then we'll get right back on the horse. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Much love. Back in January. Same time, place, still the same. Peace. I'm out of here.